Evos and NIP. We've also had a little bit of a change here at the desk as we welcome Trent back to the desk alongside Purge. Trent, how are you doing? Have you recovered from axism?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't quite get it done in that game.
Didn't quite get it done, did it?
No.
Not quite
Hard
as
life.
broken as you thought, or still
No,
broken?
no, he's definitely
Still broken?
Very good.
Okay,
hero.
all right. I don't want to tilt you again and get you, going stuff. But let's talk about these two teams, Evos and NIP. Gents, what do you know about Evos?
Second best Indonesian team. Boom ID, I always feel like has been a pretty strong contender the past while, but these guys
don't need to be mean already.
I'm not being mean. I'm being genuinely serious.
That's pretty accurate. Yeah. I mean,
That's quite a feat to make it here for them. Obviously, they were the better team. They beat Boom ID in the qualifier, but
Yes.
consistently over the past year, Boom ID has looked like one of those teams I always thought was going to break out a C. They're the kind of team I expected to show up here, but it's Evos instead.
Kevin?
So,
I mean, they seem kind of good sometimes, but not always.
Yeah.
It's not.
sound like a magic 8-ball.
I mean, the first time we heard of a really good Indonesian team, or at least one that qualified, was basically GSC. Like, I know you watch a lot of SEA games, I don't. So that was the one that I could think of. Then when I heard of the second best Indonesian team qualified, I was like, that's a bad sign, really bad sign, you know? Because Boom ID got wrecked when they played GSC. Unfortunately, the one in Indonesia. So I don't know. Like, they looked okay in the replays that I watched them play. I watched them play 2 games. They played against the other TNC Tigers is the secondary team. They beat them 2-0 in one of their matches, I believe. And they all played them, so I was like, okay, there's some potential here, so we'll see.
And then got 3-0'd by
Which is
the Predator in the grand final, and it was a
Did
very
they, though?
yeah.
They're here.
Well,
was that a 3-0?
It was a 3-0, and it was very one-sided.
That was a
Didn't
3-0
happen.
into a
You know?
forfeit.
Didn't
is what
exactly,
that was.
It's been scrubbed from the record. Didn't actually happen at all. That didn't happen. Okay, do you know what? I don't feel like I've had enough info from you, so I'm going to get some information from a pro player. Who better to ask about teams that we don't know much about than PPD? Can we see that? It's coming, apparently. Well, it's kind of small down there, but anyway, he says, I don't know a single player on your team, and that was the note that he left.
Do you think he was hoping for a note back? Like maybe they'll
I don't
tell
know
him some stuff.
But Evos played along with that. I want to congratulate them actually, seriously, because I think you guys are a lot of fun. Thank you very much for playing along. I know that you put it out on social media, had a bit of laugh about it and a bit of fun about it. So it's fantastic. And I think these tournaments for me, Kevin, are a perfect platform for teams like Evos who aren't well known globally to come to these events and put a stamp on it in some way. Now, they've already taken a game off complexity. Let's not rule them out. Like, as you rightly pointed out, 2 games off Tigers in a 2-0. That Tigers team is actually a decent lineup.
Yeah, and even if they completely wash out of the tournament, they can at least sell that piece of paper in Indonesia, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Guaranteed. That's got to be worth at least $100. Someone's going to want that, you know?
I want that paper.
Stick it on eBay straight away. Their opponent's NIP. I mean, this is the amalgamation of 2 teams who finished in the top 8 at TI8. It's two guys from Secrets, 2 guys from Optic, with Saxo obviously thrown in there as well. Decent player. Played with Blinkpool, I think, last year. With Misery's old team.
End. Yeah,
yeah. So, it's 5 known quantities of players coming from effectively 2 factions merged into one. That's got great potential, isn't it?
Sure. I was kind of placing them alongside Aster. I was curious to see how NIP were going to stack up. They got worked. They gave D-Stones his hero. He played Invoker game 1. And he did his normal
4,946. No, I'm making it up. But he's played a lot of Invoker.
I would have believed you. That's pretty much...
Exactly, because he has played an awful lot of Invokers. So why would you do that?
I don't clearly they
Early
felt like they
test.
Maybe fight the enemy that you know.
I mean, Peter's known for that, right? He likes giving teams what they like to see whether he's got the strategies to beat them. And then the second game, they were like, okay, all right.
And they still got beat.
You don't have him. So, yeah. Tough start for them. They'll be looking, I would presume, on paper, they'll look at this and go, we have to 2-0 this one.
Yeah, they're going to look at this and be like, we don't know any of their players. That means we should be able to win. They lost their qualifier, but still made it here. There's a lot of things going on, but there's got to be pressure as well. That's one of the big negatives of being such a star-studded roster, because all of these guys are extremely talented at their position. So, I mean, there's going to be some stress on the line, especially after going 0-2 against Aster. They've got to get some points on the board, or they have a better chance of getting eliminated.
Yeah, it was a 40-minute game, that second game as well. It's a long game against a team that, on paper you'd look at, as you rightly pointed out at the start of this, it looked pretty even on paper, and you think that might end 1-1, and that would probably be a reasonable result. They've lost that 2-0, and that puts them under a lot of pressure to get out of this group in the top 2.
Yeah, and I think you pointed out earlier that Aster have been playing a lot, which is something that hasn't really been true for NIP. They haven't been involved in nearly as many like online leagues or anything like that, or just like grinding out matches and stuff, and that clearly helps someone like Aster, even if they have to do like the big old travel and whatnot for the tournament.
Yep. Evos, by contrast, 46-19. I know it's only local. I know it's within the region, but 46-19 on this current patch. That's a decent amount of games. They've got plenty of experience. Presumably the draft should be quite solid.
Got to play a lot of those open qualifiers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is a lot of broad team skill, but it's pretty respectable. And the fact that they took it to Tigers, I think, is impressive. And yeah, we could see them get some points here. It's possible. I got to see some fresh games.
Okay, and if there's a downside, it might be that their favoured heroes are somewhat out of the meta right now. I'll go through some of them. Jakiro, for instance, just no one else playing Jakiro at all right now. Medusa, some teams, I guess. Brewmaster, again, not many teams playing it. We've seen it earlier today. But then they do play a lot of Necro, Rubik, Ogre, so there's some in there.
Those are all viable,
yeah,
by all means.
Yeah,
it's just like region preference that's going to change how they pick a little bit. And I think what we usually say when we talk about a new team that isn't as proven is pick the comfort picks, because trying to adapt your playstyle is sometimes hard if your experience is not as wide, and do what you're comfortable with. That way, if you have nervous issues, it kind of covers all the bases. Pick the heroes you're good at, and then hopefully you can make that work. Otherwise, if that doesn't work, then you get in this position where you're like, well, we can't pick our comfort, now we got to pick meta, and then they just start getting fully crushed. They lose confidence and the game's over. So if they got to get some wins, I think, and hopefully that earlier win that they had today is going to give them some of that confidence and help keep their confidence going so that they can do better throughout the group stage and not get eliminated right away.
Yeah, they have taken a game already off complexity, so that's a good start. Is it a similar path to Infamous and Pain over the last 12 months, where we saw them, as Kevin rightly pointed out, they started playing comfort heroes to start with, then they kind of lost their way a little bit and went, okay, well, we'll play the meta then, and they couldn't play the meta, and so then they went back to this kind of hybrid, and that didn't work. Now they're much more organized. They've had more, I guess, more training, more help, and more opportunities. This is quite early on, isn't it, for Evos?
Yeah, they're at the very bottom end of terms like that, like opportunity scale. Like, this is not a team that can easily get into majors or minors because the region's pretty stacked. So you have to, there's only so many slots, especially in the first qualifier. And I believe for the next minor announced too, it looks like there's only going to be one spot for C as well. And depending on how many major slots there are, that's really tough in that region. Extremely difficult. So this is a great opportunity for them. I think just focusing on the very most basic stuff in Dota is what you have to do in this sort of situation. Just like win your lanes. Like that's, or at least like have a good game plan for your lanes and like really be thinking about those matchups, because a lot of times these teams get here and they have these like great plans that they think are going to work, I feel like, and then the laning stage, the most basic thing, falls apart and the game just it gets real ugly real fast.
Yeah, I mean, I think back to when Pain started playing at the very beginning of the DPC season last year. One of the things we always seem to say almost every event was they look great for the first 20 minutes. And then they just kind of lost their way. It was almost like the laning stage makes total sense to them. They get it, they know where they're supposed to be, they know what they're supposed to be doing, they know the timings, they know what's good and what's bad. And then after that, they kind of go, oh, okay, we're in uncharted territory a little bit now. This game could go all over the place. So a good team like Virtus Pro would just crush them.
It could very easily be like they're not good at predicting where their opponents are moving and when they make moves. That way they get caught off guard more often than they catch their opponents off guard. And in those kinds of late game movement things, there's almost no way to come back if your opponents do late game moves better than you. It's going to lead to Roshans. It's going to lead to small advantages that take towers and then eventually high ground. So you cannot give up those little advantages, and you can't be outmaneuvered that much. So yeah, everybody can win the laning stage if they have the right mechanics. You usually know pretty much where everybody is, and there's some slight variations. But from there, the game gets complicated, and that's really what sets the high level teams that are skilled from the really organized, good teamwork teams.
And unfortunately, that's something that you only get when you start playing against those similar teams.
It's the golden experience is key, isn't it?
And
I hate saying it almost to some, because they you talk to them after and they're like really disappointed, they didn't do very well, and show what they can do. And you kind of go, don't worry about it, it's a really great experience. And you almost feel patronizing, because like, how many times have we said that to teams when they've come to their first big international event?
I just think it's the wrong
word.
It
is experience, like, but it is valuable.
It's just wrong. Experience is like I lived through something and I learned from it. Kind of.
That's morbid.
I learned from the emotions. What you should say is like, this is an opportunity to watch replays detailed and try to figure out why they outmaneuvered you constantly. Like them experiencing losing. Like, yes, that's going to help them get through adversity in future tournaments, but it's more like learn why you're bad. That's basically that's really what the reality is. But you're like trying to pat them on the back, like, oh, it's gonna be okay, buddy. No, they got crushed, and now they have to go do some hard work to catch up.
Okay, all right. I obviously need to man up when I'm talking to these players. Instead of being nice and trying to help them, I just need to be more like Purge and mean.
Depends if you want to keep your personal relationships. Me, well, give them what's important.
Let's talk star players on the side of NIP, because they've got Peter, obviously PPD. Yep. We know he's a renowned captain. He's a great drafter. He's a good man manager. He's put some amazing teams together over the years. Not in question as far as that's concerned. But if the ones that are standing at last season had to be 33 in that Optic team, he was just fantastic at almost every single event, and he seemed to get better at every event. He was like, I'm ready, I'm here at TI, and I'm ready now, I'm in the form of my life. But it didn't quite drag everyone along with him, did he?
He had phases. At first it was like, he's also the kind of person that, kind of like how we talked about Alliance, where everyone keeps moving the goalposts. It was the same thing for 3-3, where it was like, well, this guy's not really good. He just plays Visage and, Batrider really well or something, and then he picks up a few more heroes. Everyone's like, okay, now you can play 4 heroes very well. But then he just kept on proving and evolving, and really did become a big star on that roster for more than just cheesy draft picks.
Yeah. And then we've got Ace in that team.
Speaking of cheesy draft picks.
Yeah, there are a lot. He can pretty much play anything, and he's renowned for playing some of the more cheesier heroes in the ball.
Meepo,
absolutely.
Lots of finger clicking action.
Yep, can do all of that stuff. So, in many ways, obviously that looks like an upgrade over PyCap. No disrespect to PyK, he's a fantastic player. By the way, where the hell is he and why hasn't he found a team? But then that's another subject to talk about later. But it does seem like an overall team upgrade. I mean, Peter's looked at that and thought, okay, there's an opportunity to grab this guy. And then alongside that, they get Fada, who moves back to the mid lane as well, which is arguably his better position.
I would say the two that really scream out to me is 3-3 and Fada out of all of them. I think Ace is fantastic, but I think 3-3 and Fada have been like the players on each of their respective teams that stood out as like amazing. So the fact that both of those get thrown on the team, Soxa at his time, at his peak around TI6 was also one of the best 4 positions in the world, or one of the best supports in the world. And PPD, maybe not always the best mechanically looking hero, but has had such a consistent history
of placing well. Is tough,
that
Kevin.
There's nothing negative. Well, you can criticize PPD about some things, maybe letters and being too blunt like myself, but fantastic player and has such a history of success that you also can't criticize him being on the team. It's really a great roster.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, we've seen rosters with potential. Gonna bring out Fnatic, for instance, last season.
I thought you were going to make a VG potential joke for a second there. No, what was happening?
We could go down that road.
No, that's okay.
Is it a little bit too obvious?
Wait till we get to those games.
I think that you definitely have become a dad.
Thank you.
Yeah, because that was definitely a dad joke in the making. Yeah, I mean, lots of teams have had potential, Kevin.
Of course.
Lots have failed.
And
what makes this different?
Did you win or not? That's it. I mean, that's really all it takes. Did your team make it? No. All right. Well, cut the weak ones. Add some more boss tier players.
I think Kevin would make a great coach and a great manager of these teams. He wouldn't take any shit. Would he? Be like, guys, you were shit. I'm cutting 3 of you.
He needs like a hood.
They're like, wait, what? We only
whispering.
played 1 game, Kevin. Like, we can't leave mid-tournament. He's like, no, I'm cutting 3 of you. It should be brutal.
It's good. Someone
has to be that way.
You should obviously be a team manager, Kevin.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've been there.
He's hoping the angrier he gets, the faster the game will start, I think.
You guys are misrepresenting my brutal admissions of facts. I think I'm just going to kick people because they had 1 bad game and tell them that they suck.
I'm asking you if you would. I'm saying, would you be that?
There's a lot of circumstances that go into answering that question, right? Either you're not presenting. How am I supposed to answer this accurately? Get out of here. Change the topic. Go ahead.
All right, okay. Well, the draft has started, so that's saved us. All right, so we're going to get into the draft right now and see where this heads. Is there anything that Evos need to be careful of? Obviously, we've talked about the flexibility of NIP in the draft and what Ace can, but do they care about that stuff, or have they got to focus, as Kevin said earlier on just making sure they get the right draft for them?
Focusing on our game is definitely important, but yeah, there's always a balance. It's like every game in Dota. It's, you gotta take out those key heroes that NIP want to run. Just be aware of like certain matchups. Like maybe I don't really want to be a Necrophos-based team versus NIP because of things like that Batrider that I know they're very good at, even if they haven't played it that much lately. So just take all those things into account, but try and play your best Dota. See if it works for them. Yeah, thumbs up, guys. They will get rid of the brood, so a little bit of the cheese, but instantly into the tiny NIP, no fooling around here, putting that draft pressure right back onto Evos.
We haven't seen too many tinies make it through today.
No, banned first phase like every game, I think.
But it's amazing core or support.
I'm pretty sure you're right.
And okay, they go instantly into the Necrophos. So that was kind of what I was wondering, is if they would indeed do it. It seems like they're confident enough in it. And right for the Undying too. Very much a stabilizing hero.
Definitely helps against Tiny. It's kind of hard to kill him, so the burst isn't quite as good. And you could reduce his base damage a little if you spam Decay, so that works out too.
Do you really want Phantom Lancer? Like, probably one of our most common second phase bans. Obviously fairly good against the Tomb. I don't think you need to commit that early for it, though.
It's a good point. It's good against Tomb. Yeah.
It's like kind of okay against Necrophos. It's hard to get him with the Scythe and stuff. The other thing would be the Treant Protector is still in the pool, but he suffers a lot versus the Undying, but it is something that they, of course, have been running quite a bit. But they'll grab the Lina instead, who's also very good against Tombstone and Necrophos. So this has the flexibility option now here of being positioned 4 or the mid hero 2.
Yeah, I definitely like the Lina better.
And they're 10th pick, so that's actually the perfect scenario. We saw a couple teams do this in King's Cup actually, where they would take the super early Lina, and you never know, because you have the 10th pick, so it's like this could be the mid, and there's not many matchups that like totally destroy Lina, but if you see some sort of matchup that you're like, okay, I don't want to run Lina there, you just grab another mid.
Would you say that that Lina's that viable as a support? Because I think it's you can play it. I just don't think it super excels. There's a lot of times where Lina will just die, where another support would have been probably okay.
I've seen
survivability-wise.
I've seen her a lot, and it does look very good, but I think she needs certain conditions. Like, she needs pretty strong initiators, because you're drafting a 4 roll that doesn't initiate well. So you have a Tiny for that, which is at least okay. I think a Team Fight 5 is very good, but unfortunately those are in very short supply. Like, Winter Wyvern is just absolutely the most ideal one. It's pretty hard to argue with that. But beyond that, like, it's pretty hard to run, like, Lina Silencer, for example. I don't know how good I feel about that as a support duo. You do want at least one reliable stun.
Does Ace kind of look like Pycat to you guys now?
With the hair, yeah. I think he's going for something there. Yeah.
It's like, I want to go ultra blonde.
I was thinking he kind of looks like a really old Harry Potter, just with the glasses and the gray hair.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Time's been rough on him.
Yeah, I guess.
Prepping for the potential Lina mid, I guess. I mean, some teams seem kind of happy with the Lina versus the TA these days, because it feels like Linas have gotten much better with dealing with it, but don't really want to have to mess with it just in case they decide to put Lina mid.
It feels like a hero that you don't want to play against for like a tier 2 team, like TA. There's like, I feel like there's a
like a
almost
snowballer.
every good mid player can play TA really well.
Yeah.
And it has matchup advantages, and it can like 1- and 2-shot heroes a lot of the times. It just feels like a hero to remove. Can back and jungle easily.
Is it also a dupe? Does it also send a message that Lina's going mid and then Evos plan for that, and then actually it's a support Lina?
I mean, if it's a support Lina and they have a TA on their team, you don't want to play the game either.
Right.
Then you're genuinely getting one shot at various points of the game. That's just not fun. Like, you can't defend yourself easily. So either way, worth banning.
And the Mirana still in the pool. They will ban the Bat Rider as expected, so they got away with the Necrophos in the first phase, which was something that was banned out both games, looks like, versus Cole. So they had the Undying and the Mirana. That was their opener previously, and Mirana's still in. Nothing really screaming that it's an amazing game for it right now. There should probably be some sort of position 5 for them. They ran the CM earlier, but Ogre is still in.
It's interesting that it wants them to pick Pudge when they have an Undying on their team. That sounds a little...
That would be an anti-synergy.
Yeah.
With the Tombstone and the
We
zombies.
would definitely get a red axe, yeah.
So they go with the Rubik. It's kind of interesting. I thought you maybe want Ogre because he's someone who can not be targeted by the Tiny for like free food.
It is kind of good against both Lina and Tiny. There's a lot of good spells to take.
No Field's okay too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, even like magic resistance to your allies. When you have an Undying and an Echo, that's actually fantastic this game.
It's a pure green draft as well so far.
Looks like a hero they've been pretty comfortable with too when they're playing through their matches in King's Cup C.
A bounty beast Chin.
I assume the bounty must be some sort of an idea versus Necrophos with like the track and just like amping the damage back on him, and maybe the Undying too because he just like is suicidal, so he gives you free gold.
And there it is. There's the Chin.
Sap got it.
So I think it's a lane stabilizer, which is good against Rubik, who's kind of weak in lane. Can be good against Undying to shut that down, and then also good potentially to save allies against Reaper Scythe.
There's the Mirana. It's heavily predicted to come out in the second phase.
Now that is interesting. It does not look like. Okay, so we'll just get it. I guess with the Chen that makes a lot of sense. IP maybe just kind of walking into that one.
Hey, look what's on the highest rated
It's-
picks from
it's actually
SAP.
a
There's a
very
Meepo.
Very good Meepo game.
It is a Meepo game.
Counters Mirana leaps, guarantees tombstone kills, basically guarantees chain disable on Necrofoe. So if he uses his second skill, you can just mass poof, deal a lot of damage.
Does it come out here in position 4?
They got ace. Meepo in position 4.
Yeah, be weird, wouldn't it?
Yes,
I don't
it
mean
would, Paul.
position 4. I mean
Oh.
the 4th pick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, sorry, no. The position 4 Meepo. Now that would be something.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, they actually don't have.
That would be the wildest call we've ever made.
They actually don't have last pick. I guess I was mistaken. Messed up
missed my
order earlier.
arrows.
I know. I need my arrows, or I get totally lost.
But boy, do I love this overlay, Trent.
Yes, true. It's looking good. So Chen can play in lane with the Tiny. That could just be their combo right there. Playing like aggressively is a little bit of a duo. I feel like Chen's these days are mostly playing as 5s though. Just kind of like chilling in the safe lane, using one creep to harass, maybe roams a bit for the bounty runes.
Like ganking and lane pressuring the Necros feels so easy too. Like
What? Who's that?
that's not bad either.
It's a strange hero.
Anti-mage was banned out in the last series that we had here on the mainstream.
Matches pretty well against Undying lane. Like you'll lose your health, but you just drain his mana, which prevents him from decaying you anyways. It works pretty good against Necro at various stages. Like getting Reaper Scythe is almost impossible. Mirana is usually pretty magic heavy too. It's like they're actually pretty all in on magic damage right now. I mean they'll have Undying ulti at least to amp damage, but AM's actually pretty solo survivable this game.
This looks like a Pugna game or something from Evos. I feel like I just want to like flip the switch and just go, because as you're saying, I feel like they definitely have damage issues heading late, and there's not a whole lot you could do to solve that unless you like all in on some other similar crazy hard carry.
Evos have last pick here though, right?
Yeah. So they'll get to see at least what sort of defense Nip will have, and maybe if it is valuable enough to stick with the Pugna.
So what's the AM counter? Something physical damage. That's kind of single target, I guess.
What's the classic counter?
Zeus.
Zeus. Oh, sweet magic. AM is just a hero that, like, the whole idea of how he plays is just so gone that a lot of those, like, more typical counters just aren't even really available anymore.
Meepo is technically the best counter,
Yeah.
according to Dota buff. OD, PA, Troll, Legion.
Yeah, Troll was the one I had on my list of heroes that might come up, and
I don't know if I like Troll against Tiny too much.
yeah, it's a tricky one, isn't it, with the other heroes they've already got.
PA could work. I kind of like it against Lina, because it's kind of hard to land the stun. Against Tiny it doesn't sound that great, but it's also kind of good against it.
I think they...
But are they at a... No, they still have a core slot.
Yeah, I think they might just go, like, DK or something though for EOS. I don't know, I feel like they're
Like a
trying
safe
to...
spot.
Some way to just, like, push the game forward. I think that I would rather just try and play a faster game versus NIP. I don't think you want to go late versus that stack of players.
So as we were saying earlier on, if you weren't with us just before this draft started, their favoured heroes right now are Jakiro, Necro, Rubik, Ogre, Brew, and Medusa.
It is not a Medusa
Do
game.
not
Not a
go with the
Medusa
Deucer. Invoker Anti-Mage. Mike, the greed is
goodness.
real.
Is it?
My goodness.
You
This
could-
is Alina AM Invoker game. This is Alina...
No.
Is it Alina support or off?
It's probably support. I mean, it could be Tiny as well, but it's probably support.
support,
They're just
Yeah.
gonna go Quasflex Invoker. They're gonna get a Spirit Vessel. They're gonna put it on the Necro, and they're gonna freaking kill Necro. Is every chance they can put it on Dying, put it on any hero that's about to get healed. It is like a prime Spirit Vessel EMP game. I think this is pretty straightforward for Nip what they want to do. They're just gonna do 4-man stuff around the map while AM AFK farms. Evos cannot kill the AM easily with the current heroes that they have unless they do like a lift into arrow. Even like Reaper Scythe, how's that gonna work? Like they just actually don't have AM solutions with their draft. Their draft look cool, but like they just like found the carry that counters that. And now they found a mid that's also good against it. Maybe they'll have a good solution here.
And they go for the Beastmaster, which the SAP bot was telling us 3 rounds ago.
Okay, well, Beast kind of sucks at level 1 right now. His axes got nerfed in a big way, but he can work later on. He's got a way to hunt AM at least and lock down. And if he goes like Medallion, maybe it can be enough damage for his team. But
Really good Anti-Mage Ags game. Just saying. There's like Scythe and there's the Roar. There's like Telekinesis. Everything is just this single target. Like, man, whew. I'd be gunning for that thing in this game.
There's the overview. The connections in green. signifying good synergy. Not a huge amount on both sides, has to be set, and also the red threat assessment is also pretty...
Threat assessment.
However,
I feel like it's like the
to
robots of the
future.
future.
Looks like DEFCON 4 for Evos in this game. Now that's an incredibly greedy set of picks from NIP, isn't it?
I wouldn't say
in some
incredibly.
ways.
No.
It's a little greedy.
The AM is a little greedy. What else is
think
greedy?
Crossbox Invoker's like, it's not as active as other mids. I think he's on like the higher echelon. He's like
But
almost
it's the
in
active
green
version
levels.
of Invoker
Yes,
outside
for
of
sure.
Sunstrike. That's why it's going to be okay. I mean, I don't know what his mid matchup is because they picked, maybe it's like a Marana or something mid, but I just feel like NIP's a better team. I think they don't. I don't think Evo has a good AM solution, so I feel like they're going to be able to play the game they want. They're going to play better. They're going to create space for AM, and AM's going to get out of control. I think it's going to be like a 25, 30-minute game.
Okay, Trent,
Maybe
quickly.
35.
I could see them doing it. I'll take Evos. Why not?
Okay.
I could see this working.
take your win.
They got the speed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean...
Trust
No,
the beast,
okay,
guys.
I mean, this
That's, you know.
is the guy that picked the Night Stalker as being the most popular pick here at the ESL 1 Hamburg. Who knows? Let's head to our commentary team and find out whether Kyle is impressed with this NIP draft, as he after giving me a thumbs up in the background as well. He's alongside OD Pick, so enjoy.
Thank you very much, Paul. Yes, indeed, getting ready for this one, Evos versus NIP. And yeah, Kyle, what do you reckon then? We've got this anti-mage coming in, not a popular pick, but are you a fan of this?
I think it's just cool because it's a big throwback, all the way to TI1, TI2 era, where Chen Anti-Mage was an incredibly popular combo. I think that they still complement each other very well. Chen's going to secure the laning phase, give AM space, and you kind of make up for Chen's lack of map control as you get the mid game.
Okay.
Plus, the Quaswax Invoker goes all the way back to like when Black was playing with Vici Gaming around like, what was that, like the TI4 era when they were dominant. Like, it's super powerful, especially as a counter to Undying, because you drop the Tomb, Tornado EMP, all of a sudden team fights changed, you have incredible peel, and if they don't have any method of killing the Invoker, you just kind of run away from the Tombstone.
Yeah, that's true. And of course, sort of the setup, those big game fights, a good EMP into a Mana Void, that can be a crazy amount of damage if they find the opportunity to really lay that down onto someone. But definitely, it's going to be a very interesting match to see, because what do we know? Evos, they have managed to take a game so far against Complexity. They're coming into this one, obviously considering records and the lineups. This is going to be the much bigger challenge for Evos here at this LAN in terms of the first series they played today. And NIP... I mean, do you think, would NIP have drafted this anti-mage if they were against, say, another team? Say if they were against, like, a VP or a Secret or an EG, or do you think this is pretty much a we're better than you pick?
I think you're right on that.
Yeah.
I feel like it's similar to Alchemist, which is the ultimate we're better than you hero. You get punished a lot harder by teams more talented, whereas when you're already favored and you have more experience, AM puts the emphasis on the other team to beat you.
Yeah.
And especially when you're comboing it with Chen, like, I want to just enunciate more on this, because you can't really beat a Chen in the laning phase. It's going to be very difficult for them to pressure the AM properly, and as Trent and Purge were saying, you're just going to kill the Necrophos. Like, there's nothing you can really do to keep this hero alive, and we saw this earlier today where he was in like a 3-on-1 situation. Necro just stays alive and is actually able to pressure those 3 heroes out of the lane. If you can't play like a bully, it's just not. It's the same way you stand up to bullies in middle school, right?
Okay.
You can't be afraid.
No.
You've got to fight back. And if you're able to do that, all of a sudden the bully's no longer a problem.
Well, let's see, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, getting into game 1 of this 2-game series, Evos versus NIP. And let's see if Evos have it in them to deal with the anti-mage draft that NIP have decided to go with. This bottom lane already, Avil on the Beastmaster, taking a bit of a punch here, losing a lot of his mana, losing a lot of his life. Should be fine to get back underneath the tier 1 tab, but NIP already with the 3 heroes down here, looking to bully Evos away from these bounty rooms. Top lane, bit of a setup here. Saxa with the Light Strike Array onto Logic. But Death Pulse comes back out in return, and now Whitemon and Logic giving 33 a bit of a rundown. Another Light Strike comes down to hold back the Necrophos, but Whitemon going in, getting the Decay build. In fact, down bottom, Vlachu was able to pick up First Blood, taking down Ace. Saxa's got another Light Strike holding them back, but Evos, they're going to be the ones bullying NIP away from these bounty runes. And in fact, they look like they may even be in position to grab all 4 here. As they don't get anything, they get a second kill. As Evos, they start the game with 2 kills and all 4 bounty runes.
Well played. That's what you got to do against a Chen AM, right? If you pressure them away from the bounties, like, you shouldn't be able to fight that. I think if you're NIP there, you make a big mistake trying to contest both sides, because you lose those 2v2s.
I mean, it did. It really did see this sort of play, this sort of drop. Maybe NIP have come in a little too cocky. We'll see. They've got to be careful as they start the game 1K behind, down to those 2 kills and 4 bounty runes. I don't think I've ever seen a team start a game with 2 kills and all 4 bounties. That does not happen every day.
Definitely not. Maybe in a few of your pubs, but professional play, it's quite rare.
Yes. Well, let's see. So these lanes, what do we got? Which lane do you think is going to be the most one-sided lane for either team? Is there sort of a matchup we're seeing on these side lanes or in the middle that you feel like someone's going to really struggle?
I think top lane's going to be very difficult for the Tiny Lina combination. You don't really have the ability. These heroes, they have static damage output. You have your spell combos and that's it. And you're playing against 2 heroes with an 8 self-sustain that have far more harass potential as well. I think you get out-regened up here. They're just going to be saved by the fact that Tiny, he can pick up a tree. You know, it's just, most people have to last hit with their bare hands, but he's always going to be able to get at least 50% of a lane for the most part.
Let's see, Whitemon with the wraparound. I mean, Saxa already.
Just look at the damage.
Indeed, absolutely. Just a bit of a chase down. Saxa has got another light strike, so should be fine, but getting absolutely beat down by Whitemon there as he's forced back out away from that top lane. Definitely looking to have that strength that you said you'd imagine to see. They do turn, get the light strike onto Whitemon. Heal's going to be there from Illogic. Whitemon actually getting blocked up by the creeps, but the Fairy Fire comes in, turns around, gets the decay, still alive for now. 33 trying to find that final touch, but a good juke round the trees keeps Whitemon safe. As he's under the tower, 33 does try and have a bit of a look, but he tanks 2 tower hits for that one. He can turn around and punch this. Soul Rip claps there with a mango. Whitemon gets the kill onto 33. A 3rd kill for Evos. As mid lane, Vada dove a little bit here by Facehugger. Will turn with the cold snap. There's a wraparound. Look at this movement from the Rubik. You can't expect this as Fada. As there we go. Flychoose there with the control. Fada's gone. And Evos, a 4th kill in this laning stage, just 2 minutes in.
He walked through the ward as well. Not sure that Fada should have been caught sleeping there, but that's the benefit of playing so aggressively in the mid lane. Fada has no time to look to his right because there's a Mirana on his hill pressuring him under tower. All of a sudden, Rubik shows up and Peter's a little preoccupied microing. However, the AM does have a free lane. This is the benefit of the Chen safe lane strategy. In the past, you typically go like aggro tri-lane with the Chen aggressive, whereas nowadays you get your Q level 1, then you take this hard camp creep, and all of a sudden it's effectively 3 heroes in this bottom lane against a Rubik Beastmaster. And this is a great move by Rubik though, pulling the creep wave. You can't contest this lane anymore.
And IP are able to get themselves on the board and kills as top lane. The 2 of them are able to punish Whitemon. Did see he was hanging around very low on HP and mana, so maybe Whitemon getting a little carried away with the start that he was able to get and not backing up to heal, cost him his life. Come back into the lane now, because like Facehugger's one in the middle. I mean, he's hanging around. He's got to be careful. Will back up. I believe he's got some regen coming out on that mid courier.
Does the Wraith Band swap too? Love to see that. Gets him a little bit extra HP.
33. On to Logic. Whitemon keeping Saxa away from this attempt from 33. As indeed the CS for this anti-mage is the big worry at the moment for Evos, as you say. This is a free farm anti-mage. Mid lane, Fada playing around with Facehugger, went very deep for the attempt on the kill and he gets punished. Good outplay from Fada there with the tornado usage. Punishes Facehugger.
Is that really an outplay? That seemed like, feels like Facehugger just played himself.
That's top. Whitemon gets himself a bit of revenge. Takes Saxa down. So a real brawl on this top lane between these dual lanes. Evos and NIP absolutely going at it. Fada's able to secure himself the haste rune top.
It's a big problem. There's this anti-mage. As soon as he has Treads Aquila down here, he can be effectively left alone, and you don't have a real method of killing him without investing 2 cores. You need the roar into a scythe or a Mirana arrow, and it's very difficult to take down a hero like AM if that's your only answer.
And they're getting kills, more kills on the top lane as they take down Illogic. Getting aggressive. Mid lane, BO2 with this smoke coming with the wraparound onto Fada. This could be a good setup as Fada does not look ready to expect this one. There's a few right clicks, telekinesis, and the finish off from Facehugger secures the kill onto Fada once again with BO2 doing its best to make these movements mid and keep his Mirana on top.
In the meantime, Avil on the Beastmaster down bottom spots out PPD's rotation. Even though it's nighttime, you got a glimpse of him, and he knows he warded that high ground, so expect that to be sentryed soon. Bounty rune spawning in 2 seconds.
Oh, look at this, BO2. He goes from that mid-rotation straight up towards the top to help sort of brawl with 33 and Saxa back up Whitemon. Bounty runes We're going to see two go the way of NIP, one go the way of BO2. Maybe BO2 can look to set up for a kill as they're chasing down Saxa. Saxa trying to hide in the tree lines, but they're on top of them. They've got the telekinesis drag back, and Saxa will get punched down. Mid lane cold snaps on Facehugger. He's in a lot of trouble. He's got to be careful. Does have a leap into Salve available, and will back up and Salve. Bottom lane, Aviel, he's going to be open to abuse from Ace and PPD as they'll start to dive him. He'll try and bottle himself back to safety, but there's no escape for the Beastmaster. As a kill secured for Ace, more money into the bank account of this free farm anti-mage.
So I'm very surprised they last picked Beastmaster. If you get the opportunity to 10th pick something against an anti-mage, it needs to be an answer. Some sort of counter that throughout the entire game is going to be able to deal with him. I feel like Legion Commander was the only answer really left to them, or at least something like an Axe, though I think that was banned. Beastmaster has no game down bottom, and he has no method of getting back into this game either. Like, it's a tempo hero, much like the entire Evos draft is predicated on being ahead in the mid game, and at this rate, that's not going to happen.
So, opening here with the Avalanche. Light Strike, he's got the Ghost Shroud, comes in before the tree toss, and Whitemon's there with the wraparound. Also, BO2 seeing if he can get a look in, see if Saxa oversteps the markers, who waits. Waits for the Lina to go forward a bit now. They drop the Tombstone, get the control with the telekinesis, and Saxa's taken down. As BO2 really making the movements all across this map. This is some fantastic Rubik opening in the first 6 minutes.
He hasn't made a misstep just yet, and this is a game where they really have no moves. Like, I'm not going to say Evos is out of this game, but like, this is a very difficult early game for a Rubik to play, and he has given himself an incredible foothold.
They're looking to go in again. Saxa, TP's back, but look, BO2 and Whitemon, they're still there ready and waiting. He does get the two-man Light Strike, but can they get the grab? Telekinesis indeed, BO2's got the control, blocking Saxa off here with the body blocks, allowing the Death Pod to go through. He's trying to get himself back towards the shrine, but the soul rips there from Whitemon, taking Saxa straight out of the lane as quickly as he came to it. We are going to see more rotations now, as I believe PPD is heading over to do something about this problem. And PPD, he's got himself the Siege Creep and the Satire Tormentor, throws the nuke down onto Whitemon. Whitemon, he's got a fair bit of strength stolen, so he'll be okay. He's able to walk away. PPD's able to push them off, but isn't able to find anything in return.
This great ward, though. This is the best ward to play around as Dire in the safe lane. You have Mirana collapsing as well. Facehugger's here to set up. Lift is prepared.
Let's see what they can do. There are 3 members still here of NIP.
They're going to know there's a ward here if they keep playing like this, though.
Control. Set up onto Whitemon. Facehugger throws an arrow. Only catches onto the Tiny, and Fada's going to be there as well. Good leap to dodge the Tornado. BO2 still gets caught. Whitemon trying his best to retreat, but the toss forward's there. Fada in position to pop down the MP onto BO2. They'll get the Rubik. The rest of them backing off. As there was a 4-man movement there from NIP to get them out of that area of the map. Does get them a kill.
It's worth, even if they don't get that kill, you're fine forcing a 4v4 because you know that down bottom you have an AM versus a Beastmaster. That's an 80-20 matchup, and your anti-mage is 100% the win condition in this game. You just need to buy time. If it's even in 20 minutes, you're going to take the game. So just keep forcing this, waste Evo's time, and ensure you don't lose towers.
And you can certainly indeed see that paying off in the numbers. 46 and 19 on the CS at the moment for Ace. And a lot of tasty solo XP to benefit him. And BO2's trying to do his best to pick up a little bit of action from this lane, but it's going to get very hard to kill this anti-mage without a rotation from the Necrofossil and Mirana.
Yeah, and it's just so hard to play against this hero when you have nothing that can actually lane against him. As soon as he hits a Tread's Battle Fury timing, he can blink on any solo
just take
core
all your
by
mana
himself.
away,
Yep.
and you're done. You're done in the lane. I've got 3 members down in now. Aviel does have the Primal Roar ready, so a Roar into an arrow would do it, but look, he's playing safe. Ace knows.
I mean, it's pretty, I don't want to say it's like a basic rotation, but I mean, it is. Even with the Aquila, he knows that the moment you make this move, this is the Radiant advantage where you just don't have to give a damn about your bottom safe lane tower.
Quick combo for 33, nearly finishes off Whitemon. He does get the heal off. Now, Aviel will TP top. They've got the Tombstone down. They're chasing down 33 behind the trees. 33 in trouble. Reaper's Scythe comes down, takes him out of the game for 30 seconds. They do lose the Dire Courier there to the neutrals. Looked like the Undying. Whitemon was not looking where his courier was going as it got sent out to him and got taken down by some neutrals.
I like that move, though. You know the AM is TP'd up there. Made sure that... Oh, whoa. They might get him.
Oh,
caught an
they
arrow.
have they got the damage? Ooh, Ace. He's able to just blink off in time. Axes will be thrown out, but won't quite clip onto him. But yeah, Ace nearly thrown away his life there.
And something that we've seen now, it used to be just the elite teams, but now even these more tier 2 squads learn how to rotate properly around the map, where yeah, they commit 4 heroes to top, but they leave the Rubik bottom. He gets a level, a lot of gold. You need to ensure that if you're going to abandon a lane that's pushed that hard, just let someone soak up those free creep waves, because they represent a hero kill this early in the game.
Up around here, Aviel. Goes for the Roar onto PPD. Ace focusing on Logic. They've got the Light Striker right down as well. Does get the Ghost Shroud out. It's not going to save him from the Mana Void. They'll lose PPD, but Ace gets a kill onto a core. So good trade for NIP, managing to get their anti-mage involved early in the fights. Arrow connects, but of course nothing they can do about that one as Veal and BO2 hang around the middle lane. Veal trying to build towards those early Necro books. But Ace's farm still continuing to get pretty out of control.
That was a good sequence, though, for Evos. I mean, better than they can expect, because they have slowed down Anti-Mage considerably. He could easily be 5k net worth if they hadn't forced him to rotate and move out of lane a couple of times. Their issue is just going to be, how do they actually kill towers? Because if you don't take tier 1s, inevitably AM gets Battle Fury and starts to eat the entire jungle.
One lane Fada trying to go onto Logic here, but Logic's got backup from BO2. Deafening Blast comes out, doesn't have the Reaper Scythe available, so didn't have that extra bit of lockdown and damage required to kill off the Invoker, so Fada's able to walk it off. Would have been a big catch for the two of them. Yeah, 5 seconds until that Reaper Scythe's back online. Fada's still playing around with them. Does have to be a little careful now that the ult's up on Necrophos.
I really like Ace just decided to go for treads instead of rushing the Battle Fury straight away. I like that decision. Would have preferred he do that earlier, but I like that he recognized, like, hey, I just need to stay on map and continue to apply some sort of pressure. I can't be forced. Like, it just feels bad playing Brown Boots AM unless you have a free game. And I think that this is what's going to allow him to just lane up off lane against Mirana indefinitely.
Dropping the Tombstone here, but it is going to quickly be farmed here by PPD and Saxer, as they'll get 150 extra gold here for PPD's Chen. So one of the creeps in return. 11 for 6, less than a 1k lead. Very close game at the moment. In a game that's close at 11 minutes, is that good or bad for the team of the Anti-Mage?
Definitely good in this game. And I like the way that they're moving around the map as well, where AM's top and Invoker's bottom. These two heroes are incredibly difficult to take down. They can hold these towers, and then the supports now have the freedom to move and kind of shift where NIP is going to apply the tempo. And in the meantime, Tiny Lina, like, you can't pressure mid lane with this Beastmaster, so effectively they forced stalemates in all 3 lanes, and that's just buying time.
Whitemont with the haste. They have sort of sat the couple of them down here. They really want to try and make a move onto Fada. See how safe Fada plays. Got vision on him. So drop the Meteor. If Whitemont and BO2 can get the wraparound, they'll have a good shot at getting this kill. Extra TPs are coming in though. It's getting harder by the minute. And Saxer is there. PPD is also there with the wraparound. Evos may have waited a little too long to make the play. A 4th TP coming in from NIP. As they'll focus down BO2. Moonlight Shadow will not save him as they've got the nuke damage to dispose of him. 33's also got the Avalanche. Doesn't have the vision though. Whitemon and Illogic will be kept safe under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow.
Yep, the issue is, again, Ace just chilling up top. He's fine laning against Mirana. He has no threat whatsoever. And even if he's trading evenly, there's no qualms for this. And they do a good job on NIP. They rotate, protect the tower, get a kill. Beastmaster feels very ineffective at the moment. He needs a great rune and a lord somewhere.
All the means to deal with the Ghost Shroud. Doesn't matter if he pops it early or late. There's going to be this huge amount of magical burst or physical. Either way, it's a hard game at the moment for Illogic to stay alive when there's 3 heroes on top of it.
Just look at the way NIP plays. They have a defensive safe lane ward. Even though there's 3 heroes there, they place another ward and they just back away. They're going to push this lane from afar and chill at their tower. In the meantime, Invoker's mid, AM's top. They have no issue with this whatsoever.
Fada just taking a free tower, as it were. He is. He does a lot to this tier 1 mid. TP does come in from Illogic on the Necrophos. It's 33. He's going to have eyes onto Facehugger around this room as Facehugger. Looking for the 14-minute one. Does manage to grab it. 433 is able to get him with the stun. Fills up his bottle, but still, yes, the timer ticking for Evos as Ace's Anti-Mage. Leading the net worth, 6k total at the moment, and over 1k ahead of the highest core on Evos' lineup, that Mirana. With the Demon Edge just about 600 gold away.
Beastmaster's got a Necro book, though. That's something.
No, because they certainly start pushing, helps find the pickoffs too, but top Fada, good tornado, wants the 2 of them, EMP down as well, as they'll try and back up. Whitemon, low on mana, pops the stick charge. He's still got enough to turn and fight. They'll look for the arrow, does get the connection onto Fada. Can they do anything with it? They're trying to bring out Veal in rage. They've got the Sora jump forward, the Hand of God comes in, but it's not enough to save Fada as Invoker falls. Evos trying to see if they can get more out of this engagement as Facehugger moving in, has the Arcane Rune popped as well, so he's going to have those extra sort of downtime on the nukes, and they get the control of Veal, goes for with a brawl on the side. He's found himself Saxa. Saxa with the stick charges, turns. Light Striker Ray is going to be juked out by Avil. Saxa's still got the movement speed to get himself away by the looks of it. I don't know if Avil is going to be able to find this, as it's going to be Evos looking at 33 instead. The rest of them surrounding the Tiny, looking for the bigger kill, and they'll get it as they take down the Tiny, PPD, Chen, and the Invoker. 3 kills for Evos.
Yeah. That was excellent. I mean, that's what they needed to make happen. It's a very low percentage play, but they have to force that fight. Even though they had preemptively dropped the tomb, they know AM has no interest in this engagement, and you need to collect kills. They have to finish this tower as well. But once again, Fada just doing his best to delay the movement of Evos. Just slow them down. Even if you lose this tower, make them waste another minute or two. That's very valuable time for your Animage, who's still free farming top.
He really is, and he's got that Battle Fury complete. 15 minutes in, and his Battle Fury treads and Aquila, very good timing. Still obviously vulnerable until that point where he really gets the man, so if they can catch him. The ball's going to be stolen. Here's PPD and Fada. Turn their attention towards Avil. Moonlight Shadow's going to be out, but Dust is there. PPD prepared to find the pickoff, despite the invis. They can set something else up with the invis logic, looking towards sort of this mid.
I don't know if I like this Force Staff on the Necrophos. I understand its reasoning.
What are you getting at this game against?
You want to juke the EMP.
Make sure you don't lose your mana.
The problem is you're still playing against a lot of stuns, right? I would much prefer him to go for more scaling items. It's really not a Radiance game, but at some point maybe you'd like a Hex and you can't go third item Hex when you already pick up a Force Staff. It could be a nice BKB game, but I feel like you need like. It's tough. I actually have no idea what you buy here. Maybe a Yules. If you're going to go for this sort of item, a Yules into a Lift will always land kills on the Animage, and Yules into Arrow is a very effective combination with Black Lockdown too. BO2
with the blink that he stole from the Anti-Mage. He's got the setup straight in with the Roar and the Reaper's Scythe. That's 33 down for 45 seconds. So one of the pluses of playing this ribbing against the AM, you're always going to have that opportunity for an easy blink steal.
I love how Sox has been playing this, though. He's just consistently shoving waves, being a nuisance, and now here comes Fada to do the same.
Could find a good setup here if Evos aren't too careful. They can't group up. Fada looking for the angle, gets the 2-man tornado, EMP down, but they'll able to move themselves out of the range of it. So no mana will be lost today. They can continue to push here with the Necro Book and making good use of that indeed. 17 minutes in, Evos will be able to claim the Tier 2 tower top away from NIP.
I really like the way they played that as well. You have to zone, because if you allow these heroes like Lina to come up and poke your creep wave, that push is dead. But they position the bird aggressively, they play aggressively, Undying, diving tower, and it's just a very well executed move. Beastmaster as well, choosing not to max that inner beast so that he can get an max out Call of the Wild very early on. You need that because they already lack tempo and you need to win this game in the mid game. Who's going to be auto attacking thanks to that aura, right? You have a Necro and a Mirana. Save that for later, ensure you get that extra creep. It also allows them to set up for Roche if they can get this mid tower.
Evos straight up with the smoke again.
Oh no.
Let me just find PPD. PPD out alone. Lean forward from Facehugger. He'll start the attempt, and then Logic and Fletcher will come in for the cleanup. PPDs are gone, and they're now in position to push onto this Tier 2 bottom. They don't have the Beastmaster with them, so we'll be a little slower than the push up top. But it looks to be a push they'll get away with. As NIP don't seem interested in contesting it. They're more interested in trying to find a kill. As they're setting up, looking for that Beastmaster top. And Fada has got the catch with the Tornado. Avil keeps the distance though, and that may make it a little too hard for NIP to catch. They won't get the kill, and they'll give up their Tier 2 tower bottom. 19 minutes in. And in a game where they've got this anti-mage, they are losing the map control.
And look, I love the wards they placed on that move as well. They now have three actually, if you count that one on the high ground all the way up top. But they have this great vision now. They get the 2 towers bottom. They can leave this lane now indefinitely. They do not give a damn about it. And they can go collect mid tower and then Roche. They need to do this within the next 3 to 4 minutes because you don't want to fight into the AM Manta reveal. That's going to be very scary for you in a game like this. One stun and the AM blink in is immediately going to land a kill on any hero of his choosing.
Double damage rune ready on Facehugger. Looks for the arrow. It's going to be blocked by the Ancient. And so he'll at least be able to take that away. Nice bit of gold for him. Away from the anti-mage.
This is great. I wish they were ready to dive on this tower. They have the ward behind. You need to be willing to kill this Lina.
Saxa leads in. It's going to be spotted out by the creeps. So Evos, again, getting away with these pushes. Vada goes for the angle, gets the Tornado EMP down. Will not hit onto Whitemon. Keeps the distance, drops the Tombstone down as well, just in case there was the potential of Ace jumping in on the anti-major looking to commit. But Ace, he's elsewhere, continuing to just focus on farming up that Manta. And you got a full Blink Dagger now picked up as well on BO2. So as well as the opportunities to steal the anti-major spells, he's also got his own maneuverability to rely on. Yep.
It's really well played, and I wish they had just walked into Roche, but they feel not quite confident with Tombstone on cooldown, but it's going to mean that Ace is going to have the Manta in time to possibly be able to contest that. But if you're Nip, you may just kind of let Sleeping Dogs lie and just not contest it whatsoever, but Evos has got to force it first for us to be able to find out.
The three of them on Evos heading down here. We'll see if Ace gets tempted to jump in and do something. He's thinking about blinking, but there is backup here for Illogic. So Saxa, yeah, they are going to jump in and commit. Quick burst. They do get the kill onto the Necrophos. Whitemon and BO2, they don't want to fight back. About their Necrophos, they'll go. NIP just able to burst down Illogic a little too quickly to allow Evos the chance to actually fight back. Arrow comes in, won't catch onto Ace. Ace still feeling very confident in this position, knowing that
They have Lift in a second, and Laguna.
ooh, that's a nice steal. He may just be able to go for the solo on Saxo if he wishes to do so. Blinks in, can't quite get the vision for the catch, does get caught out by the Light Strike Array, but Facehugger and Whitemon, they're in as well as Avil. Evos bringing in the boys down bottom to get the kill onto Saxo. Ace will be able to get out. Same time mid lane, PPD's got the army pushing him, taking a tier 2 away from Evos, and they will claim it. So claiming good control of the mid lane, NIP pushing very, very strong.
Yep, another just well-played PPD, very experienced captain. NIP, while they don't have what I would say is like your elite tier players that you see on squads like VP, Liquid, OG, etc., they do have that understanding of the game. They're all incredibly experienced players, and they're very willing to trade a support down bottom. Fada and PPD, they're not leaving mid lane. They're going to get those towers.
Look at this. They know where Ace is because of that ward that they laid down here just outside of this entrance to the ancients. The Hand of God, though, is that going to keep him alive? It is! Oh no! The Hand of God, just enough. Evos, even with the stolen Laguna Blade, they couldn't quite burst him. It would have been a huge kill for them to find, but PPD was there with the global save. Now NIP, as well as making that evasive play mid, putting pressure on top, they'll instantly TP back as soon as Evos start to wrap up towards there. Couldn't quite get that kill.
It's just a game of catch me if you can. It's so annoying. You have Saxa in one lane, Invoker in another, and AM just farming pretty much everything with the threat of the 3-3 Tiny, who's almost always off map as well.
Let's see if Facehugger can find this arrow from the trees. Goes for it. Doesn't get the arrow on target. Saxa's able to get away in same time up top. Ace and 33 are in, and on top of Illogic. There is backup. Avil doesn't have the Primal Roar though. So a hard kill to get ready. He'll summon up the army, but Ace is already out of there. 33 blinking deeper. BO2 trying to hunt him down. They've got the vision with the Hawk. They'll find the Tiny at least as 33 is left behind. Evos still keeping themselves ahead in kills, and net worth is very close. Less than a 1k difference between these two teams 23 minutes in. 18 to 11. We'll see this on the replay again, how close Evos were to getting that kill on the AM. Perfect opening, everything thrown down, but the Hand of God comes through, and he gets out on about 50 HP.
That roar was about 0.75 seconds too early. Oh, and I don't know if I'd call that a flawless opening.
Well, they stacked it pretty much straight on top of each other, did they?
No, I mean...
there was the opportunity to have more to save.
Yes.
Bottom BO2. He'll be fine. Does also have VO by him. Primal Roar's online. They could go for a kill. They don't want PPD. They want something big.
They overlap again.
Is that going to cost them the kill? No, they'll get it. But you're right. They got to be careful with this. Yeah, I saw it that time.
It does cost them the tower kill, though. The Alacrity Catapult.
They pop it both at the same time here. And I feel like I don't see that every day. So 33 getting the Vanguard on the Tiny this game.
It's the way to go. You're playing against heroes that are going to have damage issues on the side of Evos, and you have an Animage who's already going to have that innate tank ability going for the Ags. You know, this whole team understands, look, the enemy squad is going to run out of damage. They can only kill my Animage in a Roar or a huge arrow.
Facehugger. It's going to be fine.
Oh, yeah, they blow your cooldowns. No need to hang on to it. Mana Void, 70-second CD.
Can they punish this? He's got the blink stolen if he wants to come, but he's a little scared. They didn't have really any spot. They only had the Undying really by his side, so would not have had enough to get him. They need that Raw or that Arrow follow-up if they want any sort of chance of buying time to kill the anti-mage.
They need a Roche too, but at this rate, I'm very fearful that the new timing for Evos to win the game might end up just being post-Anti-Mage 6 slot. That's really the two weaknesses of Anti-Mage are the early game and the hyper late game. Yes, you know, you think of it as the super hard carry, but realistically, if Beastmaster, Necro, Mirana all get to like that 4th or 5th item, they will be able to outscale the NIP lineup in this game, assuming that the Invoker doesn't get incredibly out of hand as well. But Fada's game so far, not quite what he would hope for, but that's the product of being ganked 3 times middle and Quaswex playing more of a space maker in this game.
And we'll see here, yeah, sort of Fada's movements around the map this game. A couple of deaths in the mid, a couple of deaths down bottom, but certainly has been all over the place here, Fada this game. Been very mobile and something that the panel were looking towards, you know, in terms of how much Fada would be able to offer in the early stages. And he's been around making sure that there was sort of space and action going on, where the anti-mage wasn't opening up that opposite half of the map each and every time for Ace, who has now got that Aghanims complete on top of the Manta Stars, so incredibly tricky to catch. They have to find a way to pop that passive before following up with the Raw.
And they have a pre-sentry laid down up top, and they're just baiting it as 4. Fada's a fast connect.
33's in. Got the opening. Force is going to be there, but it's not going to save him. Too much burst. Allows them to get the kill. Dust is out. They've got the vision on Whitemon and Avil. Avil tries to turn to go for the Raw, but the mana's already been burnt. They've got the combo as they've lost 2 on Evos. 33 forcing Whitemon away as he's still dusted. The Avalanche, tree toss, and a couple of punches to the back bring down the Undying. As NIP starting to come out clearly on top of the trades, on top of the team fights, and can now push onto that tier 2 top with no answer from Evos.
And yeah, you know, they're only 4K ahead, but still, there's so much dead worth on the Dire side. Like 1,500 gold saved on the Rubik in a blink. That's not really going to impact an engagement. Same with the Beastmaster Shadowblade. These items are only effective if they can utilize the positioning advantage to find pickoffs. You have NIP who's just going to clump up and go fight as 5 with an Anti-Mage, now with an Aegis. They've itemized to win the game on this timing. The Crimson Guard's about to be picked up as well. There it is. And this is NIP just understanding their lineup. You're not playing for an AM 6 slot. You're going to get this Aegis, maybe his next item, but realistically, you can starve the map now for a few minutes and potentially threaten tier 3s right after. The Abyssal AM is going to mean he kills anyone on map all by himself.
So there's not really any sort of answer or save for whoever gets jumped on at the moment. As Evos, they are heading out again. Avil not really going to find anything here and doesn't really want to. As NIP, they are grouped up. It's ready to make a movement with this Aegis and smoke. As Evos a little too split up here. We'll see who gets caught out by this one. As Avil, he's going to be spotted out. Shadowbladed. He's got to try his best for the Dukes here in terms of getting away from any sort of potential dust. He's blinking into the trees. Avil making a good call. They won't quite find him there, so Avil is able to get himself away. The rest of Evos also able to keep themselves at a safe distance. So the smoke not able to find a kill.
Still a high-level smoke, though. They had pushed top so far that, yeah, Mirana can go catch it, but they're already in position now where they're ahead by about 20-30 seconds on this wave. So they're going to collect this tier 2 for free, and Mirana is going to be faced with a difficult decision. You have no teleport. Look at how far he is. AM can go tier 3, especially now that the Rubik's been picked off as well. You have 50 seconds of freedom.
Yeah, that sort of setup there from the power of the Lina with that cast range and the ether lens. A light strike from a mile away. Especially during this night time. Very hard to do anything about unless you've got perfect vision up. This bottom tier 2. Very likely to be taken. Basher on the AM. 20 seconds without the full roster of Evos. Tier 2 tower taken by NIP. 6K advantage and ready to push for more with this Aegis. Looking to threaten the high ground and the base of Evos.
I don't know how you stop this. You just can't kill any mage. Again, there's a Crimson Guard. Beastmaster's damage is negligible. It means the zombies do absolutely nothing for the duration, and Ace still has an Aegis.
Somehow killing twice. And it really is so hard to do. You pop the passive.
I like how they're playing it, just slow and steady.
Got to do something here, Evos. They're slowly losing the racks. Arrow comes through. Only going to hit onto an illusion. Combo from Fada with a Tornado EMP down towards the Logic. Forced to the side. Sunstrike's there though, and Illogic, he's gone. Perfect play from Fowler to combo down the Necrophos, and Illogic's out without buyback for 50 seconds. He's still seeing the safe opportunity to continue pushing. 33 jumping in into the base behind the racks. Combos down another. Fowler picks up the kill. As it's a double kill for Fowler. No buybacks on the two members of Evos. The full set of racks taken down on the bottom lane. As NIP, they can look to go for more, or they can look to play it safe. They'll back up, force back out top lane. But this game looking to get into a very tough situation for Evos. They had a good showing at the start. They certainly came in with the plays, the rotations, they had the ideas. But as we sort of said, the anti-mage was definitely a we're better than you pick, and it certainly looks like PPD was right in that sense.
That's the exact point I was going to make. I mean, I would say that they did about as well as they can hope for in the early game, but it's just an uphill battle. You need to play flawlessly to win when you're this far behind in terms of being able to close out a game. And NIP, like, did it ever really feel like they were pressured? I mean, methodically, just farming lanes. I imagine Peter with like a straw hat and a little bit of hay in his mouth, just feet up on the desk, thinking, you know what, guys, just chill. Wait for the harvest, and we're going to collect a victory.
Logic. Ooh. Be careful. Let's see here, quick combo onto BO2. Is going to heal by the Soul Rip. They do manage to surround 33. He's a pretty beefy brute, though. Can they actually finish him off? They've got the Reapers, and that will allow them to take him down. Immediate buyback from 33. He does not want to mess around with that long death timer. Fada's also down. They do give themselves a couple of nice picks.
I like it, though. Now you have Tiny with this huge window. He's alive. Reaper Scythe is down. And how do you kill anything anymore?
I mean, Ace. Quick jump in on top of BO2. Beal does have that level 3 Necro book, but still the problem really being on how they deal or catch out the Ace anti-mage. It's out of the base they go with the Moonlight, but Ace jumps forward. 33 as well, looks for the Avalanche, getting on top of Illogic. Illogic does get the Ghost Shroud out in time, but still the Light Strike, Dragon Slave, Laguna bring him down low. Soul Rip and Force Staff keeps Illogic safe. Back towards the base, he'll get out. Facehugger trying to head forward, but the Light Strike comes out from Saxa onto the two of them. Dragon Slave as well. BO2 turns with the stolen Laguna Blade, not enough to kill Saxa. Now the blinking from Ace. Instant bash of control onto the Rubik. Rubik's out for 70. As that was a dieback from BO2. Avil trying for the wraparound, maybe seeing if he can find a cheeky kill on the back. Saxa is pretty low at the moment. But Avil sending army in. So Saxa does have the stun, but 33 is there with the Avalanche to disable the creeps long enough to keep Saxa safe. Ace does find Avil. Gets him after the Shadow Blade wears off, and Avil, he cannot run. It's Ace unstoppable on the anti-mage.
Just look at the net worth disparity. It's an exponential growth once you get this far ahead on an anti-mage. He was only about 1,000 ahead when he had 8k net worth, and now he's nearly doubling up the entire any player in the game.
Absolutely huge, Ace.
It's an easy game to play, though, to be fair. He made the right decisions, but when you can carry a game by simply rotating out of a lane as your like big play in the game, it's real nice.
Yeah, I'm sure he's having a lovely time.
So, dude, it's a stat booster. This is the sort of game you love.
Yeah, get your sort of your average GPM up, absolutely.
I mean, when you have an MVP, a Mercedes, you get a Mercedes for being MVP.
That's true.
This is big.
You know, Ace doing his part to get his hands on and take one of those cars away from VP. He's showing us the good stuff. But then again, you know, a lot of this is just his team around him, setting up the map as they have and the space that Ace needs. But Ace, yeah, he's not been messing around. He's been doing everything needed in terms of farming and getting the patterns on point and being exactly where Evos aren't. I believe we're only being caught out the once this game on the anti-mage. That's, yeah, 6-1-5 Ace this game. As Evos, they are back by the base, ready to hold. He's very close to the 25, so I mean, NIP, if they want, they could chill out and wait for that one.
Oh, yeah, no reason not to wait for Roche as well.
Yeah.
It makes the, right now you probably got a 98% win probability, but I've seen that sort of game thrown a few times. Get the Roche and it's effectively 100%.
Oh, let's see what they can do, Evos. They're going to try and fight before that situation arises. Can they get any sort of setup? The scan is going to be there from themselves on top, just in case anyone was invis around them. Making the long smoke wrap around from the bottom half of the map. They may bump into Fada. Fada's got a lot of his team by his side, and NIP, they're going to go for a smoke themselves. They're on the low ground, though. Gets dispelled. Evos, can they go for the quick blink? They've got the opening. Bruno Roar and Reaper Sight down. That's going to be Invoker gone, but he'll buy back straight away. BKB from Facehugger. He's coming in. He's doing a good amount of damage here. He's taking down Saxa. The Cataclysm comes through. Ace has got the bashes onto Facehugger. Abyssal Blade down as well as he sees him. He's got the vision. Facehugger's gone. BO2 playing around with 33, but he's so tanky. He has Ace by his side. BO2 will go quick with a blink and TP out. Whitemon, trying to hide and escape from this as well, but Fada finds him with a tornado. Ace jumps in as they take 3. Evos, though, they managed to get they got 3 kills in return. Fada had to buy back for that, and Evos do have buybacks available. So still, despite being 13k behind, they're certainly able to put up a fight, but it's just not good enough to swing the game back around, as they need a lot more to really gain control of this.
I mean, that fight was pretty much 3v5,
yeah,
and they still lost pretty considerably. Obviously, Fada does buy back with the Cataclysm, but Ace is unstoppable at this point in the game. He does have the level 25.
Yeah, so
Butterfly.
And the evasion on that Butterfly, absolutely. And again, it's this timing you talked about. They're brought back because they're pushing in. There's no threat of a Reaper's Scythe. Sort of the one guarantee that they've really had to rely on Evos to kill off the cores each fight. Without that, very unlikely they'll find these kills.
Beastmaster, yeah. His TP's down for
be fine here. In fact, he can turn. I think Sax at the same time doesn't really mind this, because again, now there's no Reaper's Sight, now there's no Roar for this defense. And already the melee racks have been taken. They move in, they get the kills. The buyback's coming out from the 2 of them. Toss back onto BO2. Just have the stolen avalanche out onto Fada. But 33 moves forward. Sora to heal up BO2 as well as the telekinesis onto 33. But it's so hard for them to kill these heroes without those 2 ultimates. Ace will blink away, but they've already got what they came for. They got that mid-melee racks. 33 being slowed down. Arrow comes through, but it won't connect. 33 getting focused. The damage from Facehugger is enough to take him out of the game. He's gone for 100 seconds. Does not have buyback for that time as well. As with the Moonlight Shadow, Evos, they're trying to find more. Let's see if they can find it. The Invis Sentry's already down, though. IP, I know what's up. In fact, Ace jumps in, looks to get the control onto Avil. The Cataclysm also onto BO2, causing issues. The Undying's gone. Ace will finish off the Rubik, as now they're in a situation. 2 dead, no buybacks. They have got Reaper's Sight back online. They're going to have the Roar as well again in a second. And they still don't have to worry about a Tiny for 70 seconds.
It's so hard to play against AM as a Rubik in this game. He lifted himself, and the AM's shield blocked it, so effectively he just stuns himself and dies. And you can't kill Ace anymore.
Logic goes in, sort of baits out the combo. It's going to mean Avil's in trouble, though. He just gets focused instead. Ace blinks forward. Facehugger back in. It's just the 2 of them. They'll try with a Reaper Sight, but it's an incredibly early one. The BKB is out, but the Abyssal Blade's down onto Facehugger. A leap again to keep the distance. Ace has the Mana Void down onto the Necrophos. As GG is called. NIP will take game 1 of this 2-game series against Evos, as the anti-mage draft is a success. Ace and the boys get away with it. An incredible amount of farm, and became that beast that we were always worried about if Evos were going to be able to deal with. And as it came to be, they just could not.
Just like they drew it up. Textbook. I mean, that game is hard for NIP to lose, and I think that that's the position Peter likes to be in when he drafts. It's the same thing we saw with Optic all of last season. The games Optic looked the best. You have Pycat on this win condition hero, Morphling, Terrorblade, etc., where it feels like if he doesn't throw or die 2 or 3 times in the early game, it's just going to be free. You follow the script.
I mean, considering that first game as well, obviously coming into it, we knew that Evos were going to have a tough time. They are sort of the underdogs in this matchup. What would you take away if you're sort of Evos looking at that game in terms of what was good? What you're saying, we did this pretty well, let's try this again in game 2.
I thought the rotations were excellent. It's just the 10th pick. Like, if you pick something that can address the anti-mage and actually be a threat, you know, when he rotates top, like something that can follow him around the map and kick him out of the lane. If you don't have that, you're going to lose. Like 9 times out of 10, if not 95 out of 100. And I think if you run this back, just, you know, give your players a way to win. Have an answer to the, I almost said Optic lineup, but to the NIP lineup. And you play like that, they did well.
They did. They had a good opening. Let's see if they can sort of patch it up and step out with something great at game 2, because they'll certainly need to. NIP looking very strong, taking game 1 in this 2-game series against Evos.
Thank you very much, OD Pixel Car. We'll return, of course, to our commentators for game number 2 in this best of 2 series. The final series of day number 1 here at ESL 1 Hamburg. And NIP forge ahead after a tough battle, it has to be said. The first 20 minutes, Evos, held their own. They did what we said they would do, actually, Trent. They know how to play the lanes. They can do the simple stuff. When it really came to the big team fights, though, they started to lose quite heavily. I
mean, they came out swinging, though. They got all 4 of the first bounty runes, couple of kills to boot, and I was like, oh, okay. Maybe something could happen here. Maybe Evos are actually going to do it. But fell apart pretty quickly.
It was kills that were so unpredictable that Pimp missed like at least 3 by like the first 5 kills. It was like, oh, we see Beastmaster down to 20% health. No need to look there anymore. He must have gotten arrowed on aim or something like that. But yeah, it was really just that aim was uncountered. That game, once he got Ags, he was almost impossible to die. He just basically did whatever he wanted. It looked like the freest anti-mage game, and Ace was super up to the challenge, just won it all.
And that's something he's been very good at identifying in the past. I remember we were asking him questions about that in a previous tournament, but like, so why are you like, tell us about Lincolns versus Ags, and he's someone who like really looks at that in the drafting phase, and I think this is one of those games where that might have even been like one good reason to go for the anti-mage period, was because not only did they have a bunch of magic damage already lined up, but it was all single target. There was just no way to kill him.
Stats on screen, which they kind of tell a story in a way. NIP obviously coming out on top, particularly highlight the ace stats. 13, 1, and 7 for the unkillable anti-mage on that particular team. Evos, they did put up a few decent stats. There's a couple of good ones in their facehugger in particular, 8, 2, and 7 on the Mirana standing out for his team. So they did have some highlights, Kevin.
Yeah, they all did really well, actually. I don't think I saw too many bad plays by any means. I agreed with Kyle that the Beast technically it would have been better for it to be a different hero, something that could beat anti-mage, but they needed to do like roars into long distance arrows while killing that guy. I felt like that was one of their only solutions, and they did have like a medallion on a dying, but that was probably late, and they didn't really have that much physical damage. Mirana also got a Maelstrom. Maybe she should have gone for a physical damage item instead, for example, but it's hard to say she can farm as fast that way. So just like the aim pick was just so good. So good that game.
It was very good. And it's hard to, we're talking about like, oh, they should have picked a different hero, but like I can't really tell you what
I
hero
was going to say which one would it have been is the key,
like,
isn't it? Because that Beastmaster was still relatively effective throughout the game.
And I think the way they probably viewed it is like, to me, the way I saw winning that game, or at least having a good shot at, was some sort of an earlier push, or at least not necessarily ending the game early, but taking enough space off the map that Anti-Mage can't do his thing. And I think maybe they thought of that, and they thought like, but we also need like a stun, so it's like, oh, Beastmaster has like really heavy push early with creeps and stuff, and then we have like a single target stun, maybe we can hunt him down, we have vision with the Hawk. Like that all kind of checks out, but the lane matchup was very poor.
I mean, we've spoken about this before, Kevin, numerous times, about when you have the last pick in the draft, the 10th pick, it's got to be a game-winning pick, isn't it?
Yeah, it helps a lot, for sure. If it's the one thing that your opponents don't anticipate. But once the AM pick was locked in, it already felt like the enemy lineup was screwed. Like, maybe I was a little biased because I know that Ninjas and Pajamas is going to be the better team, but it felt very clear to me that there's 4 heroes that do not deal with anti-mage super well. So the 5th one's got to be magical, and then they still get another pick after that to also make the AM even better than they want to. So it just felt like that with the Ags being so good against the single target abilities just really was a perfect AM game.
MVP, there's only really one MVP for the particular game, but that's the ace man himself. 13, 1, and 7 in this particular game. I can't really pick anything else in the game, can you?
Yeah, you want to give credit for sure. Like I think Fada bounced back quite a bit after being targeted so heavily on the Invoker and everything. But I mean, in the end, look at this guy. Like 66% kill participation, pretty good for an AM. Perfect itemization. Really can't ask for anything else.
Yeah, decent GPM 895 is not up there with the 1100s of the world that we've seen in some of the games in the past. But 895, we'll let him off.
This time.
Good.
Over in the other streams, just to give you a quick update as well, because the other games are still going on. You can go and see VP versus Aster over on stream B right now. That one is still in game 1. It's gone 40 minutes plus. In that particular game, I can see that no one is on a sniper in that game as well. You want to watch that. That's a lot of fun. Complexity, by the way, are ahead over on Stream C right now. They've taken the first game off all gaming. Now, that throws the group into all sorts of consternation now because we don't really know who's got the advantage because of those 2 teams at 1-0. And even if it ends at 1-1, it's still a fantastic result for Complexity. They are in the draft right now over on Stream C. Let's just wrap up on this game right now because in a way, and I don't want to be mean to Evos because I think they put up a decent fight in that first game, but it's kind of have an inevitable kind of 2-0 written all over it before we started the series. Is that how you see it still, or have you got something from that game from Evos that thinks, no, actually they've got something about them?
I think it was a pretty tough draft to play against with the Animage looking so good. And even early game, like with the Chen and stuff, I feel like they did better than I expected, honestly, at the beginning. So maybe if they have something a little bit more even draft-wise, then perhaps they could find the game. Of course, we're going to assume that NiP are going to win both games. There's not really much question there, but I'm more hopeful after that game.
I am as well. It just kind of looked to me like the 4 runes and the two deaths before rune spawn. It kind of felt like NiP was so confident that they just were kind of messing around a little bit. We're like, oh, we'll be a little bit more aggressive than normal, not go for these trades against better players. And they lost some heroes and they were behind in net worth for like 10 minutes, but eventually AM got to be AM. So it kind of felt like they knew they had the draft that was going to be fine. They just bought space appropriately, and then they just slowly outplayed their opponents. It just delayed the game by like 10 minutes.
A little bit of overconfidence, maybe?
I think there was some overconfidence, but I don't think it's a big deal in that case, because they still confidently won. It just might matter in time rating if there's like a crazy, super elongated tiebreaker that goes 5 levels down, but it's unlikely that it'll matter.
Yeah. All right, thanks very much, gents. Let's head to a break then. Our last break of the day, of course. We're going to head into our final match of the day, the final game of the day between these two. Can Evos claim a point from NIP? We'll find out very shortly.
Intel technology powers the best of esports, and the best demand a superior level of performance. So we're introducing the 9th Gen Intel Core i9 processors, designed for the world's best gamers. In celebration with our community, we're hosting the 9th Gen Intel Core i9 processor Dream Stakes. We want to bring you inside our world of esports for once-in-a-lifetime experience that only Intel can provide. Enter for a chance to win a trip to one of 9 world-class events across 3 sweepstakes. We're taking the winner and a guest behind the scenes for a one-of-a-kind VIP treatment. Winners will also get the latest 9th Gen Intel Core i9 processor and walk away with exclusive swag. Enter for your chance to win starting November 5th, 2018. Visit corei9.intel.com to sign up for more information.
Remember where it started. Your first experiences. Remember where you came from. The journey you traveled. The journey you love. Remember where it started. And imagine where it will go. Rise on.
Rover, here. Fetch. What are you doing? Oh, Rover. Red Bull gives you wings.
Because it's forever. Because it's juicy. Because it's fresh. Because it's 2 patties of 100% premium beef, legendary special sauce, crisp lettuce in a toasted sesame seed bun. It's the Big Mac.
Bitburger 0.0. Select your favorite. Containing vitamins, isotonic, and with unbeatable freshness. Bitburger 0.0, always a bit more refreshed.
ESL 1 Hamburg is brought to you in part by Intel, Mercedes-Benz, Vodafone, DHL, Alienware, Logitech G, and PaySafeCard.
A very warm welcome back to you. Welcome to ESL 1 Hamburg 2018. Day number 1 of 6 here as we head through the first part of the group stages in both Groups A and Group B. Both of the groups having 2 matches today, 2 series, both best of 2, of course, for all of the teams. Congratulations to Vici Gaming in Group A. They went 4-0 earlier today, as we now turn our attention to Group B. It's the final game of the night as well. NIP in control in this particular series against the Indonesian qualifier, Evos. Can they come back, put another 1 on the board? Because they've already picked up 1 today against Complexity earlier on. There are other matches going on Streams B and Stream C right now, so make sure you're tuning into those. We were just keeping an eye on the Virtus Pro versus Asta game, which is over on Group B. Right now it's up to 53 minutes right now and it's still going. Asta had a 16k gold lead at one point. It's now down to just 1,000 gold. It's an insane game. You don't want to miss that. That's over on Group on Stream B. Forward versus Complexity is also going on Stream C right now. They're 1 to the good. They've already won the opening game and they're into that second game right now. That's what, 7 or 8 minutes in or so. With a Bloodseeker in that game on the side of Complexity. They've picked that into a Morphling, so that should be fun. We're going to turn our attention to the remaining game on this particular stream. In many ways, you kind of say Evos has done okay. I know they lost the first game, and that's not what you want, but they did okay.
Yeah, they picked up 1 point versus Cole. They looked somewhat okay in their first game versus NIP. So see if they can find themselves another win here.
Has it changed either of your minds? Has it changed either of your minds in terms of we expect them to finish last in the group? Do we still expect them to finish in the bottom 2?
I would still expect them to be there, but that game, they looked pretty decent. I think they just got a little outdrafted. Maybe that won't stop happening for the rest of the tournament, but that's a better barrier than like, oh, you're just not good enough. Which they seem good enough. They're just slightly off in draft and strategy, and it's giving them a little bit of a blockade.
And a couple of the team fights, I mean, they weren't perfectly clean, but there weren't massive mistakes throughout the game, were there?
They were not. They overchased a couple times, but that was maybe about it. They generally use their skills okay. It's just they had lackings in resources based on what they picked.
Okay. Heading into game 2, Trent, what do you want to see from them? More of the same? Slightly better drafting?
I think they had a very good eye on their opponents' picks during the draft. I mean, obviously the Anti-Mage, that was a little bit out there, but I feel like they were kind of picking up on a lot of things that NIP players have done in the past. So maybe just continuing to try and keep at least some of that focus. They avoided a lot of those like cheesier picks, of course. It was, I mean, you can call Anti-Mage a little bit of cheese in itself, but it was just a very solid choice from NIP. They abused something that Evos had done to themselves, but overall, I felt like Evos were trying to like keep NIP in check. So somewhere
out there in the world right now, Black is just, you know, cursing the screen like, Anti-Mage, cheese! What are you talking about?
Cast for a while, the boy, he can't even play some Dota. You know, he's got to get back on his Anti-Mage.
He'll be back. He'll be back soon. He'll be back doing some farming with his Anti-Mage. We've got a Lina Undying opening from Evos. They obviously picked an Undying in the first game as well. NIP have come back with their Tiny once more. This time they've paired it with Mirana in round 1.
2 very good laning heroes. Those lane dominators. I feel like they've kind of taken the mantle from some of the other heroes we saw during TI.
They're so flexible too, like arrow combos just win so many different lanes depending on what you pick, so it's kind of just a carry threat. It's pretty good at laning, just covers a lot of bases.
I'm surprised none of the analysts picked Mirana as potential most popular here as well. She was the second most picked at PvP esports.
Yeah, definitely see her being there for sure.
I feel like she's in every game today.
Feels like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Not good enough to ban first phase, but definitely picked in first phase constantly. Just flexible, honestly.
Yeah.
She's a lot of good laning partners too. Like she can enable a lot of heroes. Like even like Mirana Earthshaker kind of a deal where it's like you can get away with certain heroes because, as you were pointing out, like the way that she can just set up with arrows and create kills from heroes that maybe aren't generally considered kill threats.
Is she easily counterable in the current meta?
No. You have to pick Slark and lose.
More like Bloodseeker or something. Bloodseeker's pretty good against her, but you don't. She's not like so important to counter that you pick Bloodseeker. That's more of like a Weaver thing.
Once again, we use our TA, and then PL we taken it too.
It's interesting that NIP have taken the TA out, but they haven't picked the laner this time.
Could just be again Evos, just like that idea of like, yeah, we don't really want to give them one of these like good snowballing, good. Templar Assassin is a hero that I would call like a good direction hero because she's very formulaic, where she wants to stomp her lane, And then she takes Roche and she's stacking Ancients and she farms Ancients and she gives your team very simple direction of just like, okay guys, I have a Blink Dagger and a Desolator like every Templar Assassin has for the past 7 years. Let's just go start pushing.
The cheese car has been banned out by NIP. Sorry, the Husker. I got it right the first time. NIP have banned out the Husker.
Fada's mad after last game. He's like, guys, look, I didn't appreciate all this diving. Can we just like make sure the mid lane's gonna be nice and easy this time? Thank you very much. Just remove Huskar and TA.
Just take him out. Like you don't want to have to play against that and lose a lane harder than you need. It's just a lot safer.
He's also someone who can actually like shut down a Tiny. Not many people that can actually stop Tiny from doing whatever he wants and take away some of that flexibility of like maybe you want to send your Tiny mid.
You know, I've seen the cameraman zoom in on a lot of glasses. I think he genuinely wears glasses and is just curious what brands have the players wear. It's like, is this going to improve my game? Will this make me a better
these guys
player?
make millions. I wonder why.
See, here's another one. He's trying to. Oh, there we go. Focusing on the brand.
Focus. Oh, I can check those other glasses instead.
You got ace now. You need to
get back.
check out Fada's. He's trying his best.
And there's the Ogre. The most popular hero still left in as we move into the second phase. Just so good. I think Ogre's like this hero that you don't care if you have double melee supports. He's not really a melee because he can just like get so close and still get his stun off.
That's Ogre.
It's no
I like
dude, highest rating, yo, let's go.
I really like the Pango prediction though. Like Pango against like Ogre, Lina, and Undyne, like just balling through those guys, it's a huge pain in the butt. Those are heroes that do not want to be stunned and want to be moving during team fights.
Yeah, that's true. Especially Undying. Every second that you're disabled is just like such a waste on that hero.
No Wyvern so far. I've seen a Wyvern in this series, I don't think.
That's a good one to point out. And there she goes.
There we go.
The hero of the current patch, I would say. She's the only 5 that you can reliably like win a team fight, even when you're down. There's no other support that can really do that.
This comes up a lot, by the way. Sorry to cut across you, Trent.
No, please.
Abaddon, Lycan, I feel like SAP just want someone to play one of these 3 heroes.
Sap has been screaming about Lycan every game.
Don't you know?
Did you know this would be a great Lycan game? And then it's the other team. Did you know it's a... every time, Lycan is there.
I'm not so sure about the Pudge one. I guess Pudge versus Wyvern. I don't know if that's what it's considering. Just like anyone tries to get cold embraced, T-ball, easy hook.
And it's with Undyne again. Like it predicted the same thing last game. It just thinks the pairing is solid, I guess. Keep them alive and then hook to safety or hook out of position and drop 2.
Do you know what I'm really interested in though, Kevin? It's whether the teams watch this back, because normally they watch the in-game stuff.
I guarantee you they don't watch the VODs unless they're.
But I wonder if they will now.
Like
they go, oh, we should have taken an Abaddon. Oh. And then tomorrow we're just seeing like Abaddon every game.
The only reason anyone would watch the VOD is for watching chat. That's it.
They like it when they won because they like watching the hype moments from casters too. I've definitely heard that from players.
Whoa, what is that? That's like a flying weaver that just landed on Trent's hand.
It's okay, he's gone now.
That?
See you, dude.
Don't like it.
What a classic moment. That was like, what was that? And it's like, I was like, oh, where did he land?
It just flew in and landed on your hand. I was like, oh.
You're like watching it fly around you, and I see it land on your hand.
I'm not even kidding you. It looked like a mini weaver.
Well,
maybe I've just played too much Dota.
Don't worry, I banned him, so he's gone now.
He's gone. All right, he's been banned out by Trent. That's good. Not banned out in this game, by the way.
No, he is.
Oh, he is.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh yeah, now I see him. It was easier when it was on your hand. He was closer.
That's true.
You're the one that needs to no glasses brands, Paul.
I think it right.
This is where you take quite a while here. It looks like for all Evos, they want to see it. All right, who are we revealing? Who are we hiding? What role do you guys want to give away? And what do we want to keep flexible? You'd assume you want to keep the mid flexible, and I told you that's what you do. You pick Slark and you lose. That's how you counter Mirana.
That's what we were saying earlier.
So when you leap and you're leashed by the Slark, you can't get away. So that's at least part of the logic there.
Okay.
But they already have 1 ground target in the Avalanche, and then a second technically with the Wyvern Curse 2. So Shadow Dance is looking a little...
Have they considered Lycan yet?
Yes, but
pretty good. Apparently,
pretty good here.
I still like the Pango recommendation. I think that one's good.
You like the Pango?
Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. It's like if you're getting ran through and get stunned in the team fight multiple times, you do tons of AoE damage that hits them regardless.
Hey, you mentioned a hero. Bloodseeker.
Bloodseeker, yeah, it's in the other game.
Yeah.
And it was picked into the Lina Morph Wyvern combo over there, so...
It could work with Wyvern setup. I mean, Wyvern ulti is great for arrow setups, but
Void is the other classic that's actually kind of okay here too. They don't have any good chrono saves.
unless they pick Pudge.
Unless they pick Pudge. It knew all along.
See, it was ahead of us. It was already countering the counters.
The problem is that the cooldown is just, it's so long, and they have enough like range disables with like Lina and Ogre that I feel like it's just not going to be that useful for a while. Or until Mirana gets lots of damage to benefit from it.
Another IM game.
Okay, Slark is literally useless at killing anti-mage.
Yeah. Well, he can deal with the Mirana, but that's it.
Yep.
I just want to quickly update you, for those of you following the groups, as you should be, to figure out where teams finish. Asta have won that game against Virtus Pro. It was a very narrow win after 55 minutes. So Asta have taken the opening point. Finished 33-33 in kills in that game as well.
That puts them undefeated.
It does
Through
make
matches.
they're currently undefeated. They do have another game against Virtus Pro in that particular group, though. But it's a great start by the Chinese team. The Chinese all-star team, as many have been telling me.
I believe there's a rumor the Chinese like to call them the Tea Masters instead. It's like their little joke thing is called Tea Masters instead of Tea Master.
Yes.
You know how they are.
Yes.
They like the
Chinese memes, best memes.
Yeah. It's
China #1 memes.
Can't compete. Especially since we lost Jack. I mean, then it was just over. No
yeah,
hope.
I miss Jack. Like, I want Jack.
It's okay,
back.
he's here.
I know,
we
but
had breakfast,
on here.
we chilled.
On here.
I know.
Do you know?
But you can say hi to him at least.
Yeah.
Maybe his team will lose in groups.
Yeah, then we get
Hey, we might get him. No, that's a bad
Do
thing
you want
to say. isn't it?
$20 to come on the panel?
Yeah, well.
As long as he takes my
30
slot,
maybe.
sure.
The other game, by the way, which is over on stream. See, right now is Complexity versus Forward Gaming. Complexity are winning by a game to 0 in that one, and I can tell you right now that they are behind in game number 2. That's 18 minutes on the board. They're 8k down as we await the last 2 picks.
So glad I'm not drafting for Evos right now.
This is tough, isn't it?
Like,
I mean, okay, look, we've come up with a solution to deal with the Mirana. Also, oh, you've picked an anti-mage.
I will say, Nip just gave them like a shockingly long time. Okay, then they'll instantly pick after using all the reserve time. So they just go right into
the Enigma.
the Enigma.
Yeah. Let's see what's suggested for Evos. I'm interested. What's gonna get picked up here? Let's have a look. See, Baden, Pudge, and really? All right.
So is that Bloodseeker for the last ban for Ninjas in Pajamas? For
yeah, it's Bloodseeker for last pick.
That's funny.
A last ban.
Yeah.
Sorry, yes, last ban for NIP. Yes.
The one that you guys can't see.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You can see.
No, like
only
I'm talking
Trent
to
can
the
see.
stream viewers.
Yeah, only Trent can see. Well, let's go with the Pudge then, right? Or the Ember.
Okay. I mean,
Ember IM?
I kind of like it because it's difficult to gank. Nip doesn't have a lot of... They have like some like arrow setup stuff, but outside of that, they don't have very reliable disable stuff on him. He can interrupt and lock down anti-mage. He doesn't really kill anti-mage well because he's like all magic damage, but maybe it'll do something interesting. I'm not a fan.
And our pressure lane into an anti-mage. Maybe with the Ogre, maybe with the Undying, I guess they'll probably send him down there. How much can they slow him
Would you
down
like
this
some
time?
straws to clutch at? I think I have some around. It's looking
what it
pretty
does.
rough, isn't it, still?
I felt weird. It's supposed to be a Lycan or a Pudge.
No.
Okay, here, thank you. I need a little bit of assistance here.
Here's the synergistic view, as it were. 40% synergy on NIP, 0 synergy for Evos' lineup right now. Although plenty of threat.
I'm very curious to see what the cores are for Evos. Are they going to try and use like an Ogre core in combination with the Lina, and then like just pile a bunch of damage on him in the laning phase? That looks like it must be the plan, and then they secure the Slark with the Undying.
But it's like it's all magic harass against anti-mage anyways. Like,
well, I mean, in lane at least, it's the magic's still pretty effective there.
Until he gets level 2, then it's like done. Feels weird.
Do you know what? I'm just going to let these two carry on kind of figuring it out, because this
good.
one's a tough one. But we'll come back to them after this game instead. Let's head over to your commentary team. Kyle and Holy Pixel waiting for you to bring you the final game of the day.
Thank you very much, Red Eye. Yes, game 2 now coming up between NIP and Evos. And we're seeing some new hit. We've got a Slark coming through from the boys on Evos. They look to try and make that one work. And also, so far, looking at what the players are taking, it is indeed just the pounds for the touch, but it's going to be a core Ogre Magi. We're going to see Avil playing on it, of course, I believe the Beastmaster in the last game. NIP, though, they're coming in once more. They're saying, Ace, you did well game 1. We're going to let you do it again game 2. They get that anti-mage into the draft. As the panel said, this is a hero that down the line, Slark's not going to have a lot of fun against.
Yep. After they saw his Beastmaster performance, they're like, you know what? We're going to give him the two-headed monster, the Ogre Magi. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's good. It's good. I think that Tree and Ogre are those two heroes that can very easily become offlaners, even though they're traditionally cores. And this Ember Slark reminds me of, dare I say, like the C deck, the Wings, TI5 and 6.
They were pretty good teams.
You have
did right with it.
Yeah, you have this support Lina, support Visage type hero, tons of lockdown with an Ember and a Slark to provide the reach. It's not an easy game for them to win, but they're at least in a position now where if they get ahead of the early game, take that advantage into the mid game, they can really just dominate the map. They didn't have any real reach or ability to find kills in the previous game. Now they have Ember Slark. It's a night and day difference.
Let's have a look, ladies and gentlemen, as we get ourselves into this one. Game 2 of NIP versus Evos. In a match where already we saw Evos certainly struggle against the anti-mage. I mean, sort of looking at the draft as a whole, do you feel that they have a better chance of dealing with the anti-mage, or would you say it's actually going to be a little bit harder this game?
I think it's gonna, they have a real stun, at least. They have Ember, Lina, Ogre, like, until Manta, it's very easy for them to take out an anti-mage, and Ember specifically has got to go off. Very difficult to deal with him once he has Manta. And it's also a BKB game for the AM. When he gets those two items, it's near impossible to take him down with the Evos lineup. They don't have that hard lockdown.
I'm talking about BKB games as well, of course, the Enigma as well. Once he gets it, nothing to cancel the black hole this game from Evos' lineup through the BKB.
It's a very good point. It's one of the reasons I've been super high on Enigma coming into this tournament. Said he'd be a game winner, and so far I feel like I've seen him just win games, and it's because you need to adjust the BKB, or it becomes this scary win condition, and if you do, he can always just change to more of that team fight tempo-based play with like the HOD or the pipe or something like that.
We'll see how what sort of lane matchups we're getting. So as we say, you know, with this core Ogre, he's going to head down bottom with the Lina, look to start to push some early game pressure onto the anti-mage, as they'll go straight in. With the stuns, getting some good few hits onto Ace. Flinch Blast will come out onto Vlaichu, but a decent amount of damage done. Another Light Strike comes out onto PPD. Fire Blast as well, as the bullying certainly begins from Avil and Vlaichu, but Ace Salves comes back in and actually able to get the kill onto Avil, so a little unsuccessful with the aggression there, Evos, as they give up first blood to NIP.
It's a lot unsuccessful. That's pretty devastating. They took way too much damage from creeps in the tower. That's like...
It's a rough start. It's a rough start, especially in this lane where you're taking these two down here to really sort of shut down Ace and just sort of allowing him to get involved with that first blood. Already PPD hits level 2. He's got the curse and he starts, just really bullying him back. I bet that's already the Arctic Burn, and Vlaichu, just these constant Splinter Blasts coming out from PPD, keeping this Lina very, very low.
This is not...
Just if the lane couldn't get any worse. Ace gets a kill onto Vlaichu. I feel like this dual lane's already over.
Yeah, it is. You need to play this very differently if you're Lina Ogre. You want to ensure you don't trade auto attacks with AM. You want to kind of always have a little bit more pressure so that you can just stun lock him, hit him a bit, chill, pull creeps back, burn through his regen faster than your own. If you end up trading this many auto attacks, like Ogre is out of mana. What's he now? He's a creep. There's no pressure on the AM anymore. Peter gets a free pull. Top lane, it's Enigma against the Slark. There's nothing he can really do in this lane. 10-6 versus 7-0.
It's going to be rough for the levels of logic. How's the mid lane looking though? 14 for 4 against 10 for 2. So this is the lane that they can look towards. Facehugger getting a good opening, and then, he's an Ember. Once he sort of gets the 6's first down in, we can potentially see him make these rotations across the map. But he's got to hope that he keeps himself ahead. No knife out mid. Fada. It's going to be fine. In fact, Facehugger, there's a leap available on Fada if he wants to go for it. keeps the distance. Facehugger can't quite close the gap with the Flame Guard, but both the heroes will survive. Believe's going to be back up in a second if Fada wants to risk it and go back in after the Flame Guard finishes if the Ember doesn't start to heal up, but no, he's got the salve, he's able to regen up. So Facehugger will be fine, keeping himself good and strong in that middle lane.
It's such a hard Slark game, man. They picked two of the hardest counters in the game. It's one of the reasons we don't see this hero very often, let alone when there's two cores left for the other side to pick up.
Oh no. Not again. Bottom lane, Ace gets another kill onto BO2. Up top, Saxa's got the mango. One more punch on Whitemon would do it, but Saxa, he hesitated. Hesitated with the right click there, and that's actually going to be the Whitemon. He's got to be the one to take the kill out of the trade. Comes out on top, so nice bit of the gold going the way of Whitemon's undying. Still bottom lane, Ace's farm continues. 2-0-1 on this anti-mage at 4 minutes in lane. Bit of a dream scenario for Ace. As Avil and BO2 trying to do their best to deal with just PPD's Wyvern. Facehugger, you love that regen rune, but of course Fada is not going to let him take it. Sleight of Fist as well misses. So Fada's going to get the full benefit out of that regen rune as well.
And well played as well, gets the leap into the Q just to continue harassing down Facehugger, who I believe, yeah, he went for the bottle, so he'll be okay. You're going to have anti-mage problems again. You're going to have Enigma problems. You have nothing, once again, to address these two cores.
I mean, we'll see again this replay. Could Saxo have got this? I feel like he hesitated on the right click, or was I wrong? Gets one in. He backs away.
Yeah,
if he stayed, he punched him. I think he would have punched him before the Decay was down. You don't think so?
No.
Ah, okay.
He attacks
just
deceptively slowly.
Yeah, I guess with the backswing and sort of into factor as well, yeah. Ace down bottom, comes across. Mana's already been burnt on Avil, so they won't have the damage to actually get the kill, but they do manage to get themselves the bounty down bottom. But overall, Evos also able to find two, actually able to find 3 themselves, so Evos getting 3 of the 4 bounty runes at the 5-minute mark, and you know, that will keep them level overall in net worth. They are only just less than 1k behind, so still keeping themselves pretty even across the map. And just sort of the fact that even is not going to cut it. As we saw last game, they were able to keep themselves on par, but it was with an anti-mage draft, and as we say, this game, an anti-mage draft is even more scary.
3-3 is 250 gold away from a help with a Dominator. It's 5 minutes in. Slark has a hard enough time playing against just Eidolons and a Tiny. You're going to throw in, what creeps he got? A Skeleton? They're going to kill this tower by 10 minutes.
We see 33 just playing incredibly aggressive. Saxa's there as well. Whitemon will come in. The 2 of them. They do have the Avalanche down. The Logic healed up by the Soul Rip. A TP coming in as well from the Lina to make sure the Saxa and 33 can't go any deeper. Turn towards Whitemon. He's got the Decay, so a lot of strength. Light Strike Array comes out onto the 2 of them. Evos forcing back both Saxa and 33. Saxa turns with the toss. The pounce is there from the Logic, jumping in. Light Strike Array is not going to connect onto Saxa. Doesn't matter though. Dragon Slave finishes off the kill. They get Saxa.
Bear in mind, that's not a core Tiny. No. Look at how many resources they had to expend to teleport. All the mana on Lina almost. And that was only possible thanks to a miracle pounce from my logic as well. Bottom lane, just an out of mana ogre. Suffering.
Not a lot this core ogre can do in this sort of situation. Not to be too worried about dying, even when that level of mana void's there. He has got a decent amount of HP to rely on. But in terms of actually slowing down Ace or causing any issues for the anti-mage, that's a bit of a different story. As he's going to struggle in that case. Mid lane CS continues to be pretty even between Fada and Facehugger. Slight lead for Fada in terms of those extra denies. He's going to give him that sort of extra level, but Facehugger remnanting away as any sort of threat looks to come in from Fada's aggression.
Just feels like you're already in such a tough spot, Evos. You need this Ember to just take over the game.
He's got to do something big.
He just desperately needs a rune, but he just hasn't been able to find one. They're doing a really good job. NIP, not always top rune.
This could be a good break for them as Ace blinks into this. Tries to use his TP to get out of it. Is not going to escape. Mana Void's not there in time, so hey, that's great. They kill the anti-mage, and he already used a TP, so he's going to have to make the walk back to lane. That's a good bit of time where they don't have to worry about that anti-mage farming.
But then you look up top, and this is a big issue for Evos because once this tower dies, there's no real way to play against the Enigma, much like last game where the AM had a free game. Nothing can stand to an Enigma, especially if he hits level 6, and he's just going to live in this top area of the map, farm 3 of the dire jungle camps, and constantly pressure the lane. And where's Slark supposed to go?
Yeah, where does Slark go? I was just about to ask you that.
Home?
Where does he go?
Mid lane? I mean, he's just, this is a miserable Slark game. And
he's still not hit that level 6, and trying to farm this lane against a level 8 Mirana. It's not going to be a fun time. It's just trying to at least get that Shadow Dance online so he's got some sort of safety to rely on. Bottom lane, they're looking to collapse again. Good movement and control as they go on to Ace, change, Light Strikes down, and with the multicast Fire Blast, they'll get themselves the kill. So they are doing a good job of dealing with Ace, but as you say, this game there are certainly a lot of other issues that are going to arise. They can't keep control of those as well.
Nice juke from Peter, goes left, expected him to go right. Oh, but they find him.
Fire Blast, lead in for Facehugger to come in. And indeed, so we talked about the importance of Ember getting stuff done, and we are starting to see the potential of Facehugger making these early moves. Top lane, Logic's got to be careful, does pounce away from the Avalanche.
They have Enigma ult too, so he does die if he gets caught there. Very, very close.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Regions are thinking about coming back in, but yeah, if Saxa catches him out with an avalanche from across the trees, he will suddenly be dead, or maybe an avalanche not even needed. 33 doesn't want to commit with the black hole though. A little bit worried that maybe there's a means to cancel it. But at the moment, Logic, he's purely on his own up top.
Really like this ward they've got at bottom.
A little bit worried that maybe there's a means to cancel it. But at the moment, Logic, he's purely on his own up top.
Really like this ward they've got at bottom. Because when he hits BKB, that's the timing you really get afraid. The Anti-Mage you can deal with. You at least have some answers, but I'm very concerned with how they actually deal with 3-3's Enigma. They need to keep making plays like that happen. Ember is top net worth. I need him to stay there for the rest of the game if they're going to take it. And I hope desperately he's not going for this bots build that we've seen so popular.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah, he's got to go the Ana style. Treads, Maelstrom, maybe a Blink. Play active and be the strongest hero on map from now until victory. That's the way that Evos takes the game. NIP, you just gotta chill, keep playing 3 lanes, and try not to have any mishaps.
Yeah, he's going to
keep your cores
at the moment. He's got Treads, Maelstrom, and the Lincolns queued up. I mean, do you like? So obviously, we'll see if he does actually could go with that full commit long build. Is Lincoln's that good this game?
Lincoln's is fine if he's really ahead.
Okay.
I don't like it as and I don't expect him to keep it as Lincoln's unless he does have that critical advantage. You need like a 3K network.
Crazy.
It's a comfort item. And they got the ward on top shrine as well. That's big. Makes it a lot more difficult for 3-3 to play aggressively in this top lane. Lina level 6, and again, they always have answers to the AM. And another thing about this Ogre in the bottom lane, he is strong enough to force Ace to just get out of this lane. Even though they might not have played the bottom lane optimally, it's nice that they can at least apply pressure and ensure Ace doesn't have another free game. Tomb goes down top.
One leading in, find time for the rest of the team to come through. He's taking a lot of damage from these Eidolons. Logic's there as well. 33 till, still with one zombie on him. Whitemon is going to continue to hunt. 33 goes straight for the TP out. Obviously nothing Whitemon can do about that one. So NIP getting themselves out of that top lane.
Take down bottom. Rana TP's in. Invis. They know it though. Lina was there to scout out. They also have a nice ward that saw the shrine. Good vision placed thus far by
They're
Evos.
still hanging around though, Evos. Even though, as you say, they know that Fada is down here. Jump forward, arrow down as well as Flychu. He's just going to get bursted by the two of them. They knew that was there. Maybe not expecting the Mirana to consistently stick around and look for the kill, but it cost them the life of Flychu.
Up top, Slark narrowly escaping as well. Ember's here. They need Ember to be involved. That's the key. I'd like to see Lina play the mid wave, if anything, and have Ember looking to connect. Because you can see Enigma up top.
Here they go. They get a Gamoi cast. They got a good shot at finding this Remnant in. Not enough damage, or is it with the Ignite? Oh, it's got him! The Ignite just enough to find that kill.
I can't believe they hit that.
Yeah, I thought that it must have been a few HP in it, that Ignite just being enough to tick down the anti-mage. Not every day you sort of see anti-mage die to a magical dot like that.
Yeah.
But he did.
I'm surprised at the skill build. He put 3 points in mana break on Ace. I would have really expected there to be at least another just comfort point in spell shield, but alas.
Yeah, but would have potentially saved him in that situation.
It would have saved. I mean, the
the
entire damage output of Evos right now is magical.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, it really is at this point of the game.
Top 3-3 in some trouble, but just pushing his limits. Pressures the tower, does some damage, and he's going to escape unscathed as 4 heroes pursue. This is the thing, though. This is nice with this Ogre hero. He just gets to play this bottom lane, and you don't really ever want to gank him because it's a real pain. And he went Midas.
Oh! I was going to say, his attack speed did look pretty crazy there as he punched him for the creeps. His top lane, Tombstone's going to be dropped down, jump forward from a Logic. They'll find 33. Evos, 40 minutes in. They're doing I thought it would be a lot tougher for them this game against the anti-mage, but so far it's looking like a big step up from game 1.
I mean, they have answers.
They've got a Slark at the top of net worth.
They don't have a worthless Beastmaster this game. I don't care if Ogre's done nothing but chill in this bottom lane. He has Midas. He just got his 90 GPM talent, and he's going Radiance.
I want to do the maths here. How much damage is a tick of Ignite doing? 30, 14, 14. Oh, that must have been literally just enough. Yeah. He was on 14 HP, and I think it was taking away 14 or 15 each time. He was literally 1 HP, just enough to kill him.
Calculated.
Oh, that was close.
I'm actually leaning Evos at this point if they can keep up the aggression.
There's 3 cores at the top of the net worth. One of them is a Slark, and it's 2018. If you've got a Slark at the top net worth, you're in a great place. He's nearly got the money for a Shadow Blade. Yeah. This is just, it really is such a step up from what we saw in game 1 already from Evos.
I was leaning NIP because, you know, looking at the draft, they don't have a real ability to make plays, but I thought they were so strong they could just sit in lanes, but they've died so much, and Ogre's so farmed. All 3 cores are...
I mean, you see there, a bit of a poke and a prod from NIP in an attempt to start something, but they end up having to back off. They don't want to try and fight into this. Of course, as this all goes on, 33 continues to get step base down bottom. He's going straight for the BKB after the helm, as we talked about. Once he has that, they have to be super careful in the fights. Evos, as you know, you've got 3 melee cores going in, 4 if you count the Ember, but a lot of the time he's going to be sitting on the sidelines, but definitely potential for 33 to find big black holes with the helm and the BKB.
Yeah, and the de-warding as well in the Dire Jungle has been so important for them. That's what's kicked Enigma down to this bottom lane.
There we go. That's what they think of the largest Ogre. They jump through, get the kill. Arrow won't connect onto Flychu, but they know he's there. Goes for the TP out, and he'll make it. Nothing to cancel it in time. Flychu's out. Bottom lane 33's got his eyes on this. He's looking for the walk-in. Thinks about the black hole, won't quite drop it as the Logic's able to pounce away. In fact, the Logic now are looking to go back in. The black hole is still there, though.
TP on cooldown for a few more seconds.
See what 33's reaction is going to be to this. He drops the Midnight Pulse, drops the black hole. The Soul Rip's there. Logic's still alive for now. There's the backup from Faceogre and Whitemon as they keep their Slark safe and alive, and they get the kill onto 33. And that's the black hole now gone.
It is, but at the same time, 33 is fine with that. That forces the rotation. Look top. They're going to keep pushing this tier 2, but Ogre shows up, level 3 Bloodlust, and this is what's so annoying about this Dota mechanic, where you just do a little bit of damage to creep waves from within 800 units, and all of a sudden, the creeps chase you.
Look at this bit. So the Midas into the Radiance.
Oh, yeah. It's the secret to offlaning. I mean, this got Sumail, like, you know, this was his offlane strategy for 6 months, right?
Yeah. Just on a multitude of heroes. You just, if you can get away with this,
I mean, you can get away with it. You can get away with it every game. Let's be realistic. If you can buy 4 Battle Furies, Owen, you can buy Midas Radiance.
That's true. Midas Radiance. I like it. Ace, how are we doing on the Battle Fury? It's certainly not going to be the same sort of timing that we saw in Game 1. Game 1, he got it at 15 minutes and 55 seconds. This time around, it's already a couple of minutes at least going to be later.
And not just that, it's not a game where it's not a free game. Like,
they can hunt him. They can find him.
You can't see it, but he's taking that one less wave, that one less creep camp, because he's susceptible to
at
dying now to any 2 stuns.
They don't get the chains connection. Unfortunate there with the RNG in control. Now the arrow comes in, Facehugger's in trouble. The burst, they've got a Soul Rip with the helm of the Dominator creep with the Sentinels there to stun. Flychu tries for the TP out, won't make it. Mana Voice there from Ace to cancel it. As Flychu, he'll fall as well. NIP able to punish Evos for coming around and looking for a kill onto 33.
I don't know if you make that play without Slark. You want to make these... It's tough to play this style, but you want Slark being the one that's actually finding these kills.
He sees Mirana leaving. He knows 33 doesn't have a black hole. Doesn't have the damage, though. TP's now come through. Logic's got to get himself out. Should be able to do so. In terms of catch from a long range, it's pretty much the Winter's Curse that's it. So Logic is out. Back to safety. Look at this again.
Yeah, this is fine. There's just...
If they got the change there, they would have got the kill. They had the Laguna, they had the burst.
But that's just not a play you want to make. If Slark's connecting now instead of 10 seconds from now, he's preventing that Mirana leap in. He's forcing this fight on favorable terms, but at the same time, Ogre's top with Might is going Radiance.
Is
this really where you want to play? He's getting there.
He's 3,300 towards the Relic. Avil.
Is this really the play, though? This is something you see in, like, North American Dota, you know, queuing at 7 a.m. US West. I'm not sure...
I thought you liked the Minus Radiant. So,
I like it.
I mean,
look,
you like it, but you don't think it's...
I like everything that works.
Sure. Yeah.
If it works, I loved it the whole time. If the game goes like I think it's going to go, I don't know.
Because I mean, with the Midas Radiance, where do you go from there on an Ogre Magi?
I have no idea. What do you expect me to know? I'm not that much of an expert, Owen.
I wonder what he's going to do.
What's your guess? You probably have more expertise in this area than I do, realistically.
I mean, surely you just want to get a BKB after it. I don't all the Aghanims if you want to be truly baller, isn't it? I mean, you got to get an Aghs at some point, surely. I don't know. I don't know what he's going to go for, though. Maybe Blink?
Midas, Radiance, Blink.
I'd do it. That would be my build. I'd be like, I've got a Radiance. Now I need to farm faster so you get the Blink, move around the camps. Why not? I'm very interested to see what our boy Avil will bring out.
I'm disappointed, though.
Yeah.
Midas off cooldown, not being used.
Here we go.
There we go.
NRP with the smoke. They at the least might find the courier on the way back. Oh no, the fan of Avil. He gets his relic though. He's all good. He doesn't mind dying. He's picked up the relic. He spent his gold. He's happy to die.
No dust.
Well, they've got the sentry down here around though, so they have got the controller Saxon. Can he get himself out of range of the sentry? There's another one down. But he's still walking and keeping the distance, and they don't have any further detection indeed, so Saxa will be fine. He doesn't have a TP, actually, but he has spent his money. Saxa's picked up the Blink Dagger. That's all done. So he might have a bit of trouble getting back home.
Might kill the courier here.
Oh, he actually might. He's going to.
Oh, no.
And that was what I believe that were the completing components of the Echo Saber for the Slark.
No, he's going to run into base.
He did.
Oh, what a player. This is the new Dota right here.
Oh, he might die to the Ember, though. And he does.
I mean, he was going to die.
Yeah, but he wanted to at least die to the tower. You know, that's nice for Facehugger. That's just 499 gold.
It's funny, Bushido now.
That gave him the money for his Blink.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So what we got with Slark, of course he got, so Echo Saber, he had it complete, but it was on the courier, so he's going to have to wait a bit of time for that. Take the attack, did you like that, Slarks? You know, taking the attack speed over the lifesteal. I always feel tempted for the lifesteal. 20% lifesteal's a lot.
Dude, attack speed is what a Slark's bread and butter. That means more agi stacks, more damage.
Yeah.
Lifesteal in a game where you can't actually man up. You're playing against Enigma AM.
Sure.
You need to deal damage stat.
Oh, well, you know, 33, he could have maybe just gone for the straight black hole because he had it, but he was worried that there'd be more behind him because he didn't expect Logic to sort of go for those aggressive plays on his own. Now towards the mid lane. In fact, Facehugger, he's found PVD elsewhere on the map. They got the Fire Blast down, multicast there onto the Tiny. Ace turns towards the Logic. He's got the Shadow Dodge. He's not getting away. The black hole for what? Didn't need it, but he popped the BKB, so he said, well, I might as well use it.
Hey, you got to.
I mean, I'm going to look like a fool if I BKB and dope black hole. Doesn't matter if he's dead. I'm going to do it anyway.
They removed offensive tipping. Oh, and you got to adapt.
The BM black hole, I like it. From 33. They get that Slark's gone. But they're losing a couple of heroes for it. 12-10, it's very close. It's very close indeed. But as we can see, Ace has taken the top spot in net worth and will continue to rise higher and higher with this anti-mage and Manta style. Very close to being complete. 1k away.
Oh, winner's curse. Oh, no. On cooldown. That's so lucky.
Oh, if that was there, yeah. It looks like PPD did use that in an attempt to save himself early when he was going to Flight Shoe. Gets healed up by the Soul Rip. Won't save him again. The change combo missing. Oh, no, he saved it. Sorry, it just went for the slide. Goes for the easy setup. Goes for the Remnant to close the gap. Keeps it changed for that one.
Radiance online. Here it comes. Oh, nope. Courier's dead. Just kidding.
But when that Courier's alive, they're going to get a nice power spike. Echo Saber's out then. Radiance is going to be out.
Game changer.
As Ace. Very close to the man to start. He might go Radiant. I think he's gonna go Radiant Aghanim's, right? He's gonna, because he wants to get the Ags as a core ogre, surely.
I have no idea. Absolutely none. I think you just all in. Once you get the Radiance, he's gonna TP back for it. I'm really curious to see what he queues up. Do you go Aether Lens? Do you just?
No, you're definitely not Aether Lens. Not Aether Lens. You either go Ags.
Just BKB, man.
Yeah, I told Blink. I told you.
There you go.
I told you, bro. I'll get the Blink after the Radiance so you can jump around and farm even quicker. Is that me? Avil, the legend. He knows the build.
Oh, top lane. AM.
Oh, they're not going to kill him. He's got too much magic resistance. He's out of there with a quick blink. And with the Manta Star, very hard to catch. Of course, he's going for the same build as the last game, going for that. But yeah, this Ogre. Oh, they got the arrow. Oh, no. Logic, he's gone. Saxor also hunting. Facehugger's coming. He's got Fletchy by his side.
Need to go for the blink. I like that. But see, that's where he's got to be the one trying to find these kills on Em, but it's getting difficult now. The Manta means Ember's no longer a real threat, long as Ace is very disciplined, ensures he keeps that to be used defensively.
This is all part, they're playing around the Ogre. They're making sure Avil gets the space.
That might be the first time that's ever been uttered on a professional Dota 2 cast, Owen. I don't think that's how it works.
What?
3,300
I swear, it's the first match. I swear we've seen Ogre. Ogre really never got a Radiance.
Owen, it's
Is it that crazy? I mean, I've done it multiple times. I mean, these pros need to catch up with what's hot, quite literally. This is the build. You know, Midas, Radiance, and then the Blink. I mean, this is the game winner. This is the game winner for Evos. I
can just imagine.
You're a better anti-mage. Look at this anti-mage. He's like, oh, you know, he's not got much HP. You got this big beefy Ogre jumping in. He's so badass that he's on fire. Oh, no. Oh, he's going to be fine, though. They don't have the damage to kill off the Logic. In fact, the Logic, Shadow Dance will be okay. Doesn't have any detection to fight back at 33 up top. Saxa gets nuked down by the Laguna Blade. BKB's been popped by Fighter, but he's on the retreat. Ace does manage to jump in, finish off the kill onto a Logic. Back towards mid. Facehugger setups there. Chains controlling the Mirana, who's already used the BKB, so he'll fall. They've got the burst. They'll take a 2-for-1 across the map. Evos.
I just can't believe Ogre's second net worth. I just, you know...
That's the Radiance minus Ogre for you. He's going to farm.
I don't know, man. I think if I'm his teammates, I'm going to be real upset after this game. Ember has played a hell of a game. Once again,
he's going to win you the game.
How? What does Radiance even do? Enigma has a BKB. AM is Animage. Like, what? It's not a PL. If there was a PL, then sure, I'm with you.
The miss chance. AM's not going to buy a MKB. You can't underrate that miss chance. Also, he's probably got some sick talents that benefit having a Radiance. No, he doesn't. Okay.
90 damage.
90 damage. He's going to... Wait, you take the 40... What does he get after the Blink? Come on, what would I get? Got to get in the mind of myself. Midas, Radiance, Blink. I mean, I would get Octarine. But then I feel like you got to get Ags first. You would definitely get Ags. You get Ags, Octarine. Oh, no, it's the wrong build. He's going Greaves.
Guys, I'm sorry.
That's definitely the wrong build.
No, I like this because you get to the point where you're so farmed, you've taken so much of the map, your team is pissed at you, and you're like, all right, guys.
Now I'll get the Greaves.
I'll buy you a Greaves.
I mean, that's true. It boosts the morale.
It's good here, too.
You know, if my teammates see me go Midas, Radiance, Blink, and then, as you say, you're getting a Greaves, suddenly
you can't be mad about that.
The flame starts to sort of let off. They're like, it's all right, boys. He's buying Greaves.
It synergizes with the draft. They've got a lot of sustain.
Yeah.
If you can keep your Ember Slark alive, they should be able to carry a match for you.
Really fun ace. And
he turned the Radiance off. He's being sneaky.
And of course,
now he's out of mana.
With the Greaves, it's really good with the Radiance. Because you burn them and you heal your team. You know, it's next level stuff from Avil. Still a bit of time to get that Greaves online, but he'll make it. He's level 17 as well on the Ogre. And NRP, looking towards Roshan. Arrow comes in, ready with the setup. Evos going to be able to do anything about this? There is no black hole, but Evos are all elsewhere on the map.
This is the strength of Animage, where he burns the mana off the Ogre, and all of a sudden you have this window where you know that Ogre can't get involved, and if you force the Roche right now, it's free.
Or change his build. He's going for the BKB instead. So screw the team. They're already annoyed at me. Nothing's going to solve this situation. I'm building for myself. Get that BKB online so he can get himself into the fight and not have to worry about his mana being taken away.
Yep. This is the NIP timing. They have Aegis, BKB Blink Enigma,
yep.
BKB on Mirana, the Wyvern with the Blink, AM about to finish Ags with the Aegis. Like, you can't actually deal with these cores anymore, so if you don't burst them 100-0, and that's so hard when you don't have any pure lockdown. Their initiation is a blinking Ogre.
Oh! Multi-cast, gets the triple. There's going to be Ace getting the heals from the Wyvern as Cold Embrace comes down. Illogic being focused, he's out of mana. There's no escape for the Slug, because the Slug's gone. The chains do connect onto the Animage. Avil coming back in with a Fire Blast onto PPD. The Curse holds him in place. BKB's come out from both Fada and 33. They are going to now retreat under the cover of the Moonlight Shadow. The chains, they've got the connection. 33 looks to turn, but the Laguna Blaze there. Bursts him down. A Fire Blast from Avil catches out PPD as well as Evos strike back hard. They may have lost their Slug, but they get 2 kills and they force back the aggression of NIP. Despite them being the ones that got the Roshan and got the Aegis, NIP had to back up.
Good trade, though. I mean, not ideal, but they save the Enigma Black Hole cooldown so that they won't... you don't want to use that when you have Aegis, because it forces you to play defensively when you want to be trying to get on map as much as you possibly can. They're chasing the Ogre now. I don't believe they'll find him. He turns the Radiance off. Whoa.
Goodbye. Avil is out.
And he gets, look at the Midas cooldown used, buffs his Lina.
I mean, I don't know if he wants to commit for the BKB. I'm kind of hoping he changes the build.
Here's the thing, the game changer, Lina went for the Light Strike Array damage and the cast range, and he's going Ags now.
Oh, you have to.
If you can get the stun off on the Animage or the Enigma,
much damage.
1500 HP on Enigma, 1490 on the AM, and that's going to be so much pure damage when he's max level. 850 from miles away. Oh, top. Oh, Slark!
Oh, Logic gets the Shadow Dance off. Can he get the distance, though, to keep himself safe? We'll see if Ace wants to jump in. Won't do so. So Logic will be allowed to back off Facehugger. Coming in from the side, but a quick blink out there from Ace.
This Ags on Animage build, though, it's just so annoying.
It's really...
I'm surprised we haven't seen it more.
12-second
cooldown.
Yeah. It's really, really strong.
It's a Super Linken's. It doesn't just block it, it reflects it back.
Yeah. Oh, it's very, very good.
I can see your mind working. I know what you're queuing up as next game, Owen.
I pick anti-mage recently. It's a good fun hero to do. Not a fun hero again for your teammates. Never to have no, not the Ogre!
Anyone but him.
Avil gone for 69 seconds, and the worst part as well, that Midas is going to be off cooldown for 50 seconds of that death. So efficiency will be lost by Avil. As you can see, Ace's net worth continuing to increase jumps forward for Facehugger. Chains.
Love the discipline too. Saves the Manta. You know, he's not feeling pressure. He'd see the Lina if he was close by.
Does still go for the Lincolns this game on the Ember, on mid lane.
Unfortunate creep wave, but that would have been a sure arrow landed to kill.
He's gonna be, unless they want a black hole for this. 33. Nah, doesn't quite see him. Doesn't want to risk it.
No need. They blow the cooldown. Slark can't really commit to a fight anymore. He has no BKB, 20 gold.
They haven't got Avil. Get Avil back in the game. Tier 2 will have to be let gone. And it's Ace. Basically back to Tiger, and there is that Aghanims complete. So as you say, they do have the damage if they can all focus down Ace or 33 to get them straight up bursted out of the fight. Still got the Aegis to worry about for just about a minute more that Ace has got that.
Such a good play, though. They get the tier 2 top and mid. Now they're going to be backdooring the bottom. They don't have enough time on Aegis to really threaten the high ground, and it's just a risky engagement because of all the cheap spells that Evos can throw out. Like, you're going to go high ground, but there's a slight chains, there's an Ogre stun, there's a Lina stun from miles away, and all of a sudden, you're just in trouble.
58% cooldown efficiency has paid off. He's picked up 2.4k compared to what the 2050 or whatever it costs. So he's in the positive. As NIP smoked up, heading towards Evos' jungle.
It is the same as the previous game, where if they can get to the super late game, Evos should be able to take this. But the X factor is always the 3-3 Enigma.
There's the jump onto the Undying. That's an Undying gone for a potential team fight, so Evos have to be careful and not look to try and find anything for 40 seconds. As NIP know that, they're going to start pushing straight down the mid lane with that Undying gone. As Ace, good duration still of the double damage. As he pushes on, he's got that shield coming out from Fada as well. So BKB has been finished on the Ogre. Ace take away that tier 3 tower and not get punished for it.
Clinical game. Really well done by NIP. They use that Aegis to pretty much peak efficiency. They get 4 towers, one of them being a tier 3, now a 5th, and then they can go for shrines whenever they desire.
More and more towers, more and more objectives, more and more money for Ace and the gang.
It's just so difficult. You need to kill the Enigma, but you also need to find the Wyvern who he's going to peel. The AM is a threat to kill anyone on your team, and the Mirana of Fata.
He's doing a lot of damage.
He's Mjolnir BKB. I mean, that is not a joke.
They're going to try and fight that. Evos wanting to look to make the jump happen. They're using a logic to show in that middle lane, hoping that NIP go for some sort of half-hearted attempt onto him, but it's not going to be the case. NIP keeping themselves safe. Ace continues to farm and does have the money for the full Abyssal Blade if he wants to go in on it. They're around secret shop here. They may find extra. Moonlight Shadow's going to be used. They've got the jump, but Ace is already out. Links away. Chains is only going to be onto an illusion. So now Evos have to be very careful because NIP, they want to fight. 33 is heading forward. They get the stun onto Avil. Avil gets the chance for the BKB. 33 goes for his own BKB, but there's the Laguna Blade. Comes through. Cold Embrace keeps 33 safe. Ace bursts down 2 with the Mana Void. Finds Avil as well. The Winter's Curse holds down another, allowing Ace to jump in, drain the mana with a Mana Drain, get Illogic. Facehugger jumped in. He was able to find the kill onto 33, but his own life surely is going to be cost as NIP get the team wipe. Triple kill for Ace as Evos just couldn't get out quick enough as a failed attempt to move in for the kill. Ends up in them losing the entire lineup. Only Ember Spirit with a buyback available. The rest are going to have to sit at the sidelines whilst NIP moves straight to the mid lane and look to take these racks away.
And that is the team fight of NIP right there in a nutshell. If you don't find a pick-off immediately, you will be wiped. And even though the Enigma ult was relatively worthless, Ace has no answer. And the Mana Void actually hit the Slark for 1,500 damage as he tried to walk past his friendly Lina. And that's 2 racks.
Certainly looks to be it, unless they can do anything with just the 3 of them up in a second. The Ace just pushing too fast to deal with. Yeah, the melee rack's gone on the top lane. Evos unable to hold on to the base there. It's a 13k lead now for NIP as they are well and truly back. Similar position as in game 1 with this unbeatable anti-mage. As you can see down the stats, just the way of the anti-mage. They're 10k gold farmed up from the lane creeps. Nothing on Evos' lineup is going to come close to comparing with that. Throw smoke up. They need a big play, and they're going to try the best to find it, but Ace has already jumped in. He's got the control onto Avil. The Ogre's burst down. Avil does have the buyback. He's going to have to use it. Tombstone's dropped down, but Fada's in with the BKB on top of the Undying. They'll pick up a mega kill streak from him. They do lose the Tiny on the side. BKB's out. Winter's Curse is going to be down, as now NIP are starting to retreat. Avil, can he find the stun or the opening onto Ace? He can't. Ace is able to blink out from the tree line. Flychu tries to find a Light Strike array, but Ace just a little too speedy. They brought back on both Avil and Whitemon for that fight, only getting the Tiny. The rest of NIP going out unscathed. And Ace, level 25 now, and getting closer and closer to having the money for his butterfly on top of this Abyssal Blade. At that point, he really is going to be quite invincible against Evos' lineup. And the heroes they have at this stage of the game, Ether Lens now picked up for PPD, so the Winter's Curse is going to be even easier for him to find from a mile off.
But Avil, Midas Radiance GPM talent, eventually he'll get that sheep stick, only 5,000 gold away.
He's got an extra 40 strength now. He is a tanky boy. Flychu jumps on, Avil comes in, but there's the black hole from 33. holds the two of them down. Mana Void comes down onto a Veal. BKB's been popped by a Logic, but they've got the physical to fight through it. As 3 dead on Evos. They couldn't quite kill off PPD either as well, as he has the Cold Embrace to keep himself safe. Butterfly is done on the Anti-Mage. The Abyssal Blade dropped down onto an Undying. Whitemud trying to TP back to safety, but will not get himself away. They will buy back on Vlychu. They do have a buyback available on a Logic, but it would just be the 3 of them looking to hold against the 5-man push of NIP. As they come down the middle lane, look to threaten the game, as they'll go straight towards the tier 4s. They know that they've got the push. They know that this Anti-Mage has sort of hit critical mass. Evos don't have any answers to him now at this stage, as 1 tier 4's taken. A second tier 4 being beat down by NIP. Jump forward and out by Facehugger, trying to keep them off, and indeed GG well played will be called. Evos tap out as NIP do secure themselves the 2-0 in this series against Evos.
Not much to say about that one.